Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. This is Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe. We are coming to you a few minutes after Luka Doncic returned to Dallas for the first time since the coward Nico Harrison traded him in the middle of the night. The Dallas Mavericks lost to the Los Angeles Lakers 112-97. Luka Doncic dropped 45 points in a really just really classic. I mean, if you think of like a stereotypical Luka performance that has like, this is great. And I really, Josh, how you doing?
I'm good. I feel like an idiot. I didn't tell you this in the pre-show. I think you're using the wrong microphone.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. But
we can fix
while
that
you're,
mid-show.
yeah, you're fine. I heard it. I just didn't connect the dots. But I'm doing okay. I'm back in the dark. I'm continuing this. Maybe I'll do this forever. I don't know, because it's not going to get any better.
Because we're in the dark. We're in the dark forever.
Yeah. Like maybe this will just be the bit I'll keep forever, and maybe whenever they win a playoff game is when I will. The next time they win a playoff game is when I'll turn the lights back on. Maybe I'll extend it to that. I don't know.
Do I sound better?
You sound perfect, crystal clear. That dreamy Kirk voice that we know and love. You're good. I'm good. And I have something to write about, so I feel good too, because I need to write more for the MavsMoneyball.com website that we help run. I think I'm just to preview what the idea I have in my head is. The worst part about that game is that it's over. Oop, told me to hold on a second. Oh no, Kirk has to filibuster. I think what I'm going to write about tonight, and I won't give away the goat.
I laughed so hard I unplugged my mic.
I was saying, like, the worst part of that game is that it's over, because like that was fun. Like that was the most fun I've had watching a Mavericks game since the trade.
It was really
reasons.
interesting.
And now it's bad, because now it's like waking up after a good party. You're a little hungover. Like, it's over now. Like, they are back to irrelevant. They are back to clawing for the play-in. They are back to not being important. They were important tonight. They were part of the most important game of the NBA regular season since Luca had been traded, I think, in terms of notoriety, in terms of eyeballs. That won't happen again until the next time Luca comes back next season. That's what's the worst part of this game, is that the apathy will now set in fully. Because I think fans that were still holding on were holding on because they knew this game was coming. I anticipate the drop-off after this moment going into the off-season is when we're going to see the impact of this trade in full.
Well, I have to hold on just 1 second for everybody watching. Okay,
there
good. It just looks, out of whack when Josh is on the different side of the screen. Let's talk about the kind of the stuff around the game, and then maybe the second half of the show we'll talk about the game. This was obviously an emotional game. ESPN played it up as well as possible. Luka Doncic got ejected from last night's Laker game, so it seemed like a given that he was going to play. Lots of Mavs fans were like, "He's not going to play." And it's like, no, the Lakers still need to win.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I first saw that they were playing guys last night.
Yes,
yeah, they're still they could still fall in the play-in.
Doris was like really hammering home the point that they needed to win 2 out of 3, and then they went and won 2 out of 3, which is
right.
Interesting. So there's just a lot of hullabaloo around the game for obvious reasons. National media flew in for it. Tim McMahon posted a story today. Nick Cato. Fred Katz of The Athletic posted a story today about so let me go in order. So McMahon posted a really long story which featured a quote from me in it, and I know no one that really interacts with us read it because nobody mentioned it to me, which was very funny to me. Like it's ESPN. Okay, I know like a lot of the internet hates Tim McMahon and seems to blame him for the fucking Luka trade. But that was it. But
that's a nice encapsulation of what fans care about when they're consuming NBA media, by the way. Right. That's why we talk about the trade, don't talk about the games.
Tim's article was devastating. Like there were, he had been saving some bullets in the chamber in terms of some of the things that he had known and waited to drop about the finances, about things the Mavericks tried to do in terms of like basically making this like a welcome home game for Luca, and the Lakers were like, absolutely not. So was Luca's people. Like really petty stuff that lets you. And granted, I'm saying sort of this without all the facts because we'll never know all the facts. But there's when you understand that the Mavericks are a small business, there has been some hightail reversal of, oh, fuck, what have we done going on from a business level here? And I can't help but think that some of this stuff comes from the top of Nico Harrison attempting to get everybody to try to find ways to save face. And so if you haven't read the McMahon article, go at least look at the first half. There, it's quietly something. Then there was a Fred Katz article at The Athletic that, and Fred's my guy. I like a lot of these people that work at The Athletic. I've met them over the years. But they became another vehicle for Mark Cuban just whitewashing of history, where Cuban once again tried to say that, oh, well, there was a handshake agreement, but the NBA wouldn't let me have that handshake agreement, so we had to take it out. And I just figured that the Dumont and Adelson would honor it, and that just didn't happen. Whereas less than 10 days ago, Adam Silver answered that there was no such contractual inclusion that Cuban was forced to take out. So it's a question of who is lying, the NBA commissioner or Mark Cuban. Well, guys, I'll give you a guess as to which person I'm going to believe, even though I think Silver's is a bit of full of shit himself. There's just, and that infuriated me. Tim Cato wrote a piece for DLLS about Slovenian fans that I've yet to read because it's paywalled. Sorry, Timmy, I love you. I'll read it tomorrow, or I'll try to actually pay for a subscription at some point. I really should. We had a good post today from our guy Jordan Brodess that I like. Jordan just doesn't get a chance to write as often as he does because I think he has 2 children under 5. So the fact that he writes for our site at all is kind of an act of God. And it was really quite beautiful. Like just one of these things that, and you know, there's just so many emotions around the game. And then the Mavericks, ESPN really wanted to show the pregame introduction. That isn't like, when was the last time you saw a pregame introduction?
It's been a while.
And then they showed this video, and then they show Luca crying, and like,
it was bizarre. It was one of the most bizarre games I've watched ever.
You are a cold, dead analyst at this point. Did that move you at all?
Yeah, not from like. It just reinforced. It reinforced how weird this is. You know, like how much he didn't want this. The community didn't want this. It was the perfect encapsulation of why this hit as hard as it did, and why this felt so. Like there was a lot of people saying, "I've never seen a game like this before." That's because we've never seen a trade like this before,
nothing.
Right? So like, it's not surprising that you're in this weird environment. Because we're ever since the trade, we're in uncharted waters. This is literally never had a player as good as Luca has never been traded his age unwillingly, ever. And I struggle to find comparisons to other sports. Like we are getting close to this might be legitimately the worst trade in professional sports, not just the NBA. And so like it's just weird. And so when you saw that reaction, it's like, yeah. This was weird. It was a reminder that we're not overreacting when we've been talking about this for about 2 months. Mm-hmm. Seeing Luca's reaction before when he got introduced was a reminder. Yeah, this was a big deal, and we're not overreacting. Like, yeah, this is as effed up and as crazy as we made it out to be.
And so for me, I'm watching this at my son's basketball practice. I had to kind of go watch it by myself because I was like. I mean, look, guys, I'm always pretty straightforward about what's like going on in my personal life just because I can't. I'm pretty good at like walling stuff off. Like my dad was obviously in hospice when we were doing podcasts. Nobody really knew about that till after the fact. But the way I feel inside is all completely mixed up with my dad. And like all this stuff together, it's just so many fucking feelings. And as I'm watching this, and we're watching the game unfold, all of the incandescent white hot rage that I feel was it's justified. It's
right.
Justified.
Yes. Good word. Justify. That's a great word.
And it was so weird. The first half of the broadcast, Richard Jefferson was trying to play the both sides of this. And as the game went on, as AD had 4 points in the first half, we'll talk about the actual game in a little bit, guys, I promise. And Luca had 31. I need new adjectives to other than stupid, because this has transcended stupid. Before the game, Mac Angle, I think he's still with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
Yes, he is.
Old school takesman of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
My former colleague. Just
really?
Kidding. No, I mean I freelance for the Star-Telegram.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
I'm being cheeky.
He asked Jason Kidd a question about how, this trade is getting compared to the Babe Ruth trade, and like, Kidd,
that's the most insane quote I've ever seen in my life. Read it in full, because I just interrupted you.
I tweeted so much stuff during the game. So let me just go. This shouldn't be too hard to find. Okay, this is incredible. I asked, this is from Mac Angle, at Mac Angle Prof, whatever. I asked Coach Jason Kidd to address Mavs fans who feel like there is no hope without Luca. I could not believe his answer. Quote, trades happen. Some are comparing it to Babe Ruth, which is kind of cool. End quote.
The trade that pretty much detonated the Red Sox franchise for 100 years. That's cool, right? You want to go 100 years of futility? Is that cool?
If y'all are listening to this, I need you to come find the video feed so you can see my face. Matt finishes his tweet saying, not sure if he knows the Mavs or the Red Sox. I promise you he doesn't know the Mavs or the Red Sox. Like, that was one of, like, people thought it was fake. It was one of those. Like, it was such a bad quote. Anyway, so we're
also, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you check your mic again?
It's really garbage.
I wonder if when you rejoined, if it reset you a little bit.
Just the whole time? Probably.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I hate to do this in the middle of recording. Is it good or no?
You can't tell the difference. How's that?
Okay, I think you're better. Is it set to your Blue Yeti?
Josh.
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Oh my God, did I ruin the podcast? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hold on. This is really good podcasting.
I'm so sorry.
I changed my... Oh my God, that's why.
I did it. It's my fault. My fault. Are you okay? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Oh, he's gone. All right. I blew it. I feel like Billy Madison. You blew it. He was fine. It just didn't sound... All right. Hello?
This is great podcasting.
You sound much better now. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
My external, it's just me being dummy. We'll figure. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, I shouldn't have interrupted you. I shouldn't have interrupted you. That's my fault.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going to leave all this in because I don't even care anymore.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's funny. People don't care. How often do we have actual snafus on this show? We've recorded 1,200 episodes and we have not had many.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's like one of my buddies was like, I didn't record my show the other day. I just went on and I was like, well, we never record. We always go live. So it's just straight here. So it's just, the before game stuff was really something. And the emotions around it all were really something. I really have to give it up to the Mavs crowd. It was Tyron. I'm looking forward to Tyron. I hope you stick around for the after show. You can come tell me what the game was actually like. I'm looking forward to people telling me. But the Fire Nico chants were clear,
crystal clear on the ESPN broadcast.
Mike Breen had to address it, and that doesn't happen. Negative things, they just tend to move on. And you and you have a little bit of an interesting conspiracy theory that we think that Nico has complained to ESPN about some of the coverage on this trade.
No, didn't that come out? Wasn't that reported? That wasn't a conspiracy.
No, it's been whispered about.
Okay.
I've not been able to confirm anything.
Didn't Ethan Strauss have that in a story he posted or something? Or am I going nuts about this? Am I revealing the goose here?
I think
Sorry.
he was looking into it and then he couldn't confirm it, so he didn't run it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right.
That's okay. No, I mean, we've all heard
Yeah.
stuff though, like that. This is the thing. Like, there's a lot of like,
I would believe it all.
right, and it's just like nobody wants to go on the record. That's neither here nor there. Nico was at the game. I had a source. Look at me, he's sourcing. Tell me that he was told by security that he should avoid the game. And so I went with it, and of course, it ended up being wrong. The one time I actually go with something, he was at the game, but he stood in the tunnel. I don't I don't understand how he has a job. Still.
Yeah, when you watch that combined with the fact that the financials are bad, which is
Real
what Tim
bad.
McMahon's story hinted at, what said it's the dozens of millions that the Mavericks have lost, mostly in sponsorship deals since Luka's left. Because
the sponsorship stuff, I've heard some stories. You actually had one, and that we're not going to tell the company.
Yeah, I can't.
Well,
I can't say it because I don't want to get someone in trouble.
We know of a specific company that was
mad.
that called them the night of and was like, "We want our money back," like, and it's real. And this stuff is around the Dallas area. It's really something, guys. And
we said this the night of the trade. They fucked with everyone's nut. Like you talk about to pull a Step Brothers reference.
And here's what I'll tell you, fan 123. Pay attention. Actually, you know what? You shouldn't care about who pays for the Mavericks anything. But I'll just tell you this: you might notice some different sponsors and different things next year, and there will be reasons why. There's no shortage of companies that will sponsor the Mavericks. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of money these teams pay is what's going to be really something. So, I mean, look, this franchise, we're now finishing up this movie. Josh mentioned this at the end of the show. The collective not just Pod Mavericks, but the fan base, we're at a bit of a crossroads. And I've told people this, if you choose to walk away from the Mavericks, I cannot hold that against you. I can't. They're kind of a part of my identity, okay? And I don't want to. But as I'm watching this, like all this stuff tonight, it was genuinely emotional in a way that I don't think anyone should ever have to feel, because he didn't deserve it. You can be unhappy with Nico. You can be one of these putt sticks on the internet that didn't like how he played. That's fine. But I as we're going to talk about in the second half of this show, the player that we traded for is not him. He's not that kind of guy. And there are maybe 5 to 6 guys in the NBA in any given time who can be the man. And we traded one away and also got a bad deal in the trade.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's bad enough to trade Luka, and then you trade him for this.
Yeah.
And that
AD is
worse.
a two-way player, if by you mean he sometimes plays basketball and he sometimes doesn't. That's the definition of Anthony Davis, two-way player. All right, do we have anything else before we should take a short break?
Well, no, I don't know.
No, go.
Well, I was going to say, if we're going to talk more about the game after the break, we need to talk more about, I wanted to just highlight more of the atmosphere around the game.
Sure, please do.
It was more than just the Fire Nico chants. They were still cheering for the Mavs, and when they went on runs and took the lead in the fourth quarter, the building was cheering for the team. So it didn't get as bad as I think some speculated, like that they might not even be cheering for the team. They were cheering for the team, but they were. Otherwise, it did feel like a Lakers home game. Like not just Luka making shots, like just Lakers good plays were loudly cheered in a way that part I don't think I was anticipating as much. Because me and you talked in Slack before the game, and you're like, this game cost people literally thousands of dollars, some people, to get into this game. You're probably not going to spend $1,500 on a ticket to protest or shit on the Mavs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I was wondering, like, how rowdy would it get in terms of favoring the Lakers? And they kind of walked both sides pretty well, because they didn't boo the actual Mavs. They did chant Fire Nico during some Mavericks free throws, and I hope to God a player doesn't open their mouth during the post game availability, because that's just going to make it worse. And I do feel, it's not the player's fault, so it does suck for them. It's not,
at the same time. I hope,
but also,
I hope the players keep it to themselves in the post.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, they just don't add fuel to the fire.
Go be a millionaire and be fine.
Yeah. Also,
I don't get millions of dollars.
Also, you could have done something about it. You could have done something about it against
Right,
the
you could have
Lakers
hit a
team
shot,
playing
PJ.
3 and 4 nights. The Lakers were tired. The Lakers. All right, we'll talk about that later. But the environment was interesting. I've never seen anything like that. The way they were cheering for Luca, like Lakers had a turnover that looked like it was an iffy call, and they were like, it didn't even involve Luca, and it was like they were booing the call, like they were booing bad ref calls that went against the Lakers. I was like, oh no. But it just added to the surrealness. And honestly, I don't blame fans a single bit because again, their franchise just got nuked in front of them. Like it's just unprecedented. So an unprecedented response from the fan base also shouldn't be shocking or surprising at all. So yeah, I just thought I thought the environment in the arena was like the word you said, I think is the word of the night, justified. Like that was a really good one-word summary of kind of everything.
Oh man. Okay, so we're going to take a break here. Josh is going to go post the recap real quick. I'm going to babble for a second. So guys, we've recently switched to a new podcast platform. And when we switch, there is often a lag in what is seen as downloads and listens and things like that. So if you could listen to our ads, it really helps Josh and I, like directly. It is how we end up getting paid. And that's for anybody on the audio streams. And the YouTube, you guys can kind of do whatever it is you do. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Note that following this show, we will have a group therapy, and I will just be staying up late talking to people for as long as they want to talk about Mavs, Lakers, and anything else going on. I'm not really, I slacked off on those the last month or so with my dad in hospice. But I'm trying to get back on the horse a little bit before the season ends, and so we can carry over some stuff into the off season. I'm going to insert some audio ads, and then Josh and I will be right back to talk about the basketball. Welcome back. This is Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe. Thank you so much for sticking with us. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe to our show, leave a comment, do all that wonderful stuff. Everybody who's here live, just know that we appreciate you. We've gotten a couple of super chats. One from my buddy Josh McSwain. Thank you so much. And my homie Bobby. You guys are longtime supporters. We very much appreciate you. All right. So the actual basketball itself, this was, if there wasn't so much drama around the game, this is such a styles make fights game to where we talked in our Slack and kind of in the days leading up to it, that the way these two teams play, I honestly could have seen the Mavericks coming out and absolutely jumping all over the Lakers and walking away with a win. It didn't happen. But that's just sort of what's going on. So that's where we are at the moment. Josh, what do you want to, what all should we discuss?
Oh, Anthony Davis. Like we have to. We can be mean. Like, I'm sorry. Like we kind of have to be mean. If he's hurt, if that's the reason why he looks as bad as he looks, which he is hurt, by the way, like we know that this is not an injury that just magically goes away with rest. It only gets fixed. From what I understand, please, smarter people than me, tell me, because I'm way out of my pay grade here. But this is the type of injury that usually can only be rectified with surgery, and he's playing through it. It's admirable. But he's deciding to play, and he's not getting the surgery. If he's going to be on the floor, he has to produce, and he's not producing. And tonight, there's going to be a lot of pushback on his performance because, one, they're going to say, well, he's playing hurt. What do you expect? And then, like I said, then don't play. If you're this hurt and you're this ineffective where you're hurting the team, then thank you for trying, but don't play because he hurt the team tonight. He didn't help. Second, it was more, they're going to say, oh, well, he was double teamed all night. What are you going to do? It wasn't the double, like that part is understandable. He was checked. He looked like he got hit by a horse tranquilizer before the game started. Like his effort and his intent, like the intensity level that he brought to the game was frankly embarrassing. He was walking and loafing up the court. He was standing at the 3-point line, uninvolved in plays. You're going against the Lakers team that plays one center, Jackson Hayes, who isn't even a good center. And he had 13 points on 13 shots. 5 of 13 from the field. Like that's a joke, man. That's a joke. I don't care about the double teams. What I care about is if he got double teamed and they took away his shot attempts and he couldn't score a lot. Okay, I get it. But defensively, he was not engaged. And offensively, there were possessions where he floated to the 3-point line, stood there, didn't get involved, and he didn't look like he didn't want to play. And I got to clip it. Do you remember the sequence when they went down 13, I think, in the third quarter? where like he walked, like he was the last person to cross half court, and his man got a wide open layup, and then the Mavericks called timeout. And I'm watching that, and I'm going, he's playing like the guy that Nico leaked to the media that Luca was. Like it was a joke. Like if that's your best player, because by the way, he's the best player. I mean, you could think maybe Kyrie is, but like they are talking about him like he is the centerpiece now of the team that they're building around. He is the center of the team now. That's your best player? That's what he's going to give you in a big time game where you need something? I get that, it's got to F with your mentals when the crowd is booing the GM for making a trade that brought you to the team. I'm sure that doesn't help the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that's what the money is for. Your favorite quote. Like that was I wouldn't be eviscerating him right now if I felt like he was playing hard and giving a shit. And if his injury is preventing him from being able to do that, then he doesn't need to play.
Let's get on with this portion of it. And he needs to, because look, if you're a hater, and I was talking with our friend Wupo, who's in the chat right now. We're talking during the playback, which if you're ever bored and want to watch a game live with friends, playback is really fun. I'm being too hard on Anthony Davis. Like just as a general rule, I'm being too hard on Anthony Davis. But Anthony Davis had an opportunity to do something tonight to show that it's not just the Luka Doncic trade. It's the Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis trade. And he didn't. And I think my overarching problem, and I was at my son's basketball practice. I briefly chatted with this coach, this guy I'm getting to know, and I told him, they asked me what the score was at halftime, and I told him it was like Luka scored 31, and I said the real problem with AD is not that he's bad or anything like that. It's that he is not the guy.
He's not 1A.
He's not. And he will never be, which is why he probably would have worked quite well with Kyrie. But Kyrie's also not a 1A at his age and his size.
They're both players that the best moments of their careers have happened when they were the sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
what
do you do? Because this is why, like me, I'm just so pro. Like if I'm him, I might ask for a trade.
Why do I want to be associated?
Why do I want to be here? Like I will. And also, here's the other thing: I wouldn't hold that against him.
No,
it's not his fault.
He should get away from this mess.
He should get away. He is good. He's being a good soldier.
Yeah, he is,
and he's doing his damnedest. But he is. It's just like Nico. Like he's
not going to win here. Like even if they play, like what's it going to be?
Mm-hmm. And this is why I think the Mavericks just need to hit a hard reset button. Nico Harrison needs to be fired immediately. We know the owner's not going anywhere, but if you read Tim McMahon's story today, you also know that people around the league know, and apparently Dumont's pretty fine about this, that he's not the basketball guy and doesn't really have an interest in being a basketball guy. He's an administrator. And that's okay. Like he says all this stuff, but this is why it's like some of the things Dumont said has been so infuriating, because it's like he's getting talking points from Nico, and Nico is providing him shitty talking points, And so it's like what there's the chosen one asked Kirk, what could AD get back in the trade? We'll probably talk about that down the line. I don't really have any thoughts at the moment, but it's just there's not really a win for him here. And his best games were one where he got injured and one where he was hitting jump shots.
Against the Atlanta Hawks.
Have been mostly mediocre.
Yeah, and if he's hurt, don't I get it. And you tried. Like it's okay to come back and try, but now it's like, I mean, and there's a part of it where he kind of has to play because of like everyone's hurt. I'm sure that's part of it too. But like, dude, they talked him up. They gassed him up before he came back. By the way, like don't forget about AD. We got a top 75 player coming back, and AD was like, "I'm top 75. When I come back, we're gonna be rolling." Like, maybe don't run your mouth if you're not 100% physically capable of backing it up.
That's right.
It's just
and what's mostly disappointing is it's just the way AD plays basketball. In a different era, he might have fit, but as the game evolves with more space, his game is just not it. Like offensively, some of his attacking of the basket is gross.
I still think he fits, just not as the centerpiece of your team. Like, I mean, he won a title like not that long ago as a number 2. Like sometimes that's what guys are best at. Like, I don't think that's. I don't know. I don't think that's too much of a knock if you get the hardware to back it up. Like, he won a title. LeBron was the best player on that team. That's okay. It's freaking LeBron. Like,
so let's talk about let's kind of slightly move on from AD though. And
yeah, we gotta talk
about
the game.
What did work for the Mavericks? Because they played some stretches of basketball where the Lakers didn't have many answers.
There's you saw the moments where the size mattered. Daniel Gafford, especially, I thought was the best player on the floor for the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
His activity and his energy, I think, made a difference. I don't know why he played 15 minutes. I actually think that's the reason they lost the game. When Gafford was in to start the fourth quarter, that's when the Mavericks took a 2-point lead about 2 minutes in. Then he went out. Derek Lively came back in, who very sad because you won't find a bigger Derek Lively super fan than me. Maybe you too. I think we're like co-chairs of the Derek Lively fan club.
Derek Lively,
he does not look. He's not himself. Like he's clearly.
He was a plate of fried chicken tonight. I've never seen him
like that.
all. He was. This is his stat line, boys and girls. 15 minutes, 3 of 3 from the floor, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 3 personal fouls, and a -17. He was useless. Luca lit him on fire. LeBron put him into the basket. It was rough. Sorry.
Yeah. He doesn't look right. If Gafford would have finished the fourth quarter, which I think the Mavericks actually might have won this game.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know if they would have won, but it wouldn't have. They would have at least kept it a 1-possession game, into the clutch longer than what happened. You know what I mean? Because he was really the only positive thing they had going tonight.
He had a couple of unbelievable back-to-back blocks. And I think it was the end of the first quarter.
He was the only one that looked like he was playing with a fire up his ass. You know what I mean? Like everyone else was sleepwalking besides maybe him and Najee Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only one also that was taking advantage of the Lakers' size. I mean, hell, he scored on a post up on Luca. Like I don't think like 8. And that was not to go back to AD. He had post-ups against non-bigs where he passed the ball out before the double even came. And I was just like, dude, you don't want it tonight. Like that was very discouraging. But yeah, Gafford was good. That worked. Najee was great. He started at point guard. He was literally the only reason why this game wasn't a 20-point blowout at halftime, because he was kind of almost not matching point for point, but moment for moment, he was kept keeping the team in the game. He hit 2 threes, which is big for him. I thought it was important for him to score well when playing, because that's been the thing since Davis has come back. He has averaged about 10 points per game in the games with Anthony Davis playing. So they have to figure out, okay, like we can't. He's our best scorer besides Davis. We cannot neuter him. So like
Najee was sick, man.
But he was great. Yeah, he looked more like the Najee in March before Davis came back. So that's the one thing you take from this game. Is it like, okay, they were able to play Najee and Davis both 35 minutes, and Najee was able to get cooking. Of course, Davis needs to get going for this to work, but that's the big thing. Like, can they get Najee rolling even with this double big lineup? And they were able to do it tonight. Of course, I think that has to deal with they did play more AD at center, I think, tonight than they have in a while, that's kind of what's going to have to happen. Like, they're going to have to do that more than Davis wants, so. But otherwise, like you look through, the Lakers didn't even play well. Like they looked like a tired team.
Luka played well.
Yes, Luka played well. LeBron played well. Reeves played decent, but their role players didn't do much.
Rui Hachimura had a minute or two, and they just needed these spurts where they could bury the Mavericks. And
they were given that game on a plat. Like there were multiple opportunities where they were like, "Mavericks, please take this game," and the Mavericks did not. The Mavericks outshot them from the field and from 3. The Lakers only made 3 more 3-pointers, which I think when you consider these teams' rosters and how they play, that's a win. That the Lakers were only +9 in made 3-pointers in terms of 3-point points. But dude, the Lakers had 15 offensive rebounds and the Mavericks had 9. Like the Mavericks
should not be a thing for
against the team
roster.
And Lakers are on 3-and-3 nights, and all these guys played most of those 3-and-3 nights. Like that's the game.
Funny. I got into an argument, a text back and forth with a Mavs reporter who's and it's so the rank and file Dallas media, so not your Nick Angstats, not your Landons, your Landon Thomas, some of the guys that are kind of newer to the beat relative to like your old media. The old media heads just love Jason Kidd. And I get the most horse shit back and forth with some of these people where it's like, well, he's done such a great job coaching them since the Luka trade. And I'm like, but what about the 6 weeks before when they just lost game after game after game and he let Spencer Dinwiddie do whatever? I'm just sort of flabbergasted with elements of this. And it's like the Jason Kidd of it all to me is a low key element of why this stuff's important, because they just, if he's getting into their asses about how they need to, like, why they're playing hard and stuff like this, he didn't show up tonight. That Jason Kidd did not show up tonight and coach.
No, he didn't. He didn't look like they had the team prepared for how they were going to guard Anthony Davis. Again, the way he played Lively and Gafford, I don't know how you look at how those guys were playing and you play them each 15 minutes. I get that Lively's your guy, and I'm a
but
big
they went to
Lively
small
guy.
ball 5 with
Davis.
Gafford, or I'm sorry, with AD.
No.
And I don't like AD wasn't effective. So it's
No.
If you make all these trades to play a certain way, then play that certain way and go down with the ship. Instead, they tried to like do a series of half measures and it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. But yeah, I didn't. This was a game the Mavericks could have won. Like it really, like the Lakers were not doing stuff tonight that was like, oh my god. Obviously, other than Luca. I mean, hell, even I'm going to sound like an idiot here. They kind of did what they needed to do against Luca. If you don't kill me, but like obviously Luca burned them, but Luca had 6 assists and 3 turnovers.
And Luca was wild from 3. That was the game breaker.
That's the game for sure.
3.
But I maintain that the best way to guard Luca is to take away his passing. And I will die on that hill. And they didn't double him for most of the first half. And of course he had 31 points, but like, I would rather Luca have 31 points at half. And he had like 2 assists.
If you were to take a gamble, it's letting him shoot the 3 and hope he doesn't kill you.
Try to let him play out of, let him go 1-on-1. Don't let the role players get hot. Hope he shoots you out of the game. And he shot them in the game and they lost. But I don't think I would change how they covered Luca. They actually started doubling him in the second half, and that's kind of when things got squirrely a little bit. Like I didn't like when they started doubling him, because you noticed LeBron had a big fourth quarter. Reeves had some good passing. Dude, the Lakers are so unfair. Luca gets doubled. There was a sequence in the fourth quarter. Luca gets doubled, gets trapped at the wing. The release valve short roll is freaking Austin Reeves, who catches it, turns, defense steps up to Reeves. He finds a cutting LeBron for an and one. And I'm like, that is such a potent trio that even though this roster is severely undermanned in a lot of places, those 3 guys in a playoff series, that's a lot of passing, a lot of basketball IQ, and a lot of scoring that not a lot of other teams.
If they hadn't gotten, and I understand why they did it, but if they hadn't gotten cowardly about the trade with the Charlotte Bobcats,
I don't know. That guy I don't like that.
No, but it's like they just need it. Like Luca turns a
That's
C
true.
plus into a B.
You're right.
And you just need the body.
They'll
Now
get one
I think
in the summer.
Yeah, I think it hamstrings him to a bit in the future, but like you could see a path with one more big. I just don't see it unless Luca is like incandescent night in and night out, and I just don't think he can be.
Yeah,
he looks healthy though.
No, he does. I mean, he made 7 threes, so he had 9 2-point baskets, which has been kind of his struggle since coming back from the injuries. His 2-point game hasn't been great because he's obviously like working his way back from a major injury. So yeah, I don't know. The Mavericks.
Spencer Dinwiddie got a lot of good cardio tonight. 29 minutes, 1 made basket. It was a 3-pointer. He had 3 rebounds and four assists, and just kind of jogged around tonight. So congratulations to him. I did get a real kick out of Caleb Martin making like a wildly athletic-looking acrobatic layup. It's not something from like he's just not Max Christie also had some Max Christie moments, and I mean that in a way where I was like, oh, okay, there's the guy. there's the guy who has done some interesting stuff for us, but I still don't know what to make about him.
What with Dinwiddie?
No, well, with Max Christie.
Oh,
Like,
Max Christie.
I don't know what to make of him other than he's
okay.
a young player.
I think his initial burst was like the top, like kind of the top end of what you could expect, and maybe that skewed the expectations a little bit.
You give me 15 points and 5 rebounds a night, I'm at
from
that's
your
great,
from
man.
a second round pick, for sure, young player. His defense is a little overrated. I think
he's just a little out of control. Is what I think he is.
He needs more seasoning, is what I would say on the defensive end. Which, that's fine. He's a young player. Like, he's probably the one, but like he's not the kind of young talent though that's gonna like change the trajectory of what is going on here. Right. Which I hope fans don't put that on him, because he kind of has to have it. Like just because fans are grasping for something to hold on to, I do worry that people are going to build him up in their head that he's like, okay, well, the team is kind of ruined with this Luka trade, but Max is the next, he's the next guy, and it's like, I don't know, like, just let him be him. It's kind of what happened with Josh Green when people were just so excited that they had a draft pick that wasn't Luka, first round pick that like was kind of doing stuff, because the team outside of the Luka Brunson draft picks has been so bad in the draft, up until that point. That they kind of put all their hopes and dreams onto him, and kind of sometimes wouldn't let him develop at his own pace. Right. Again, like I just hope there isn't an expectation level with Christie that's like a little bit too much, because he's fine. He's doing great.
Well, and Brian Windhorst has made it a whole thing this last couple of days. And we're going to call him friend of the pod, Brian Windhorst, because I met him. And I like how theatrical he is, but he's been really going in on the Mavericks for not getting Austin Reeves. And again, we don't want to circle back to the trade, but it's such a bad trade.
It's a bad trade.
Like, it's such a bad trade, brother. I don't know. So is there anything else? Because otherwise we'll get on to another show. And, look, like, I'm just going to be candid with our audience here. I sort of feel like Josh and I could have done some more to like play up elements of this. Like our friends at Locked On Mavs, like Nick had a live show last night, and there's some shows that are still recording that are really still pumping into the feeling of this, because there are people that want to commiserate, and I just haven't had the gas. Like, I start writing something. I have written the Mavericks need to fire Nico Harrison piece like 6 times. And then I just delete it because I don't like it. And I don't know what the point would be. Because I don't know if they're gonna, at least not in a way that would be like satisfactory, because, the dirty part about all this, guys, is when it comes to sports, there sometimes is no justice. You just have to live with this. And, the arc of history might bend towards justice, not for sports fans.
Yeah.
For whole franchises that have never had anything like we've had. And I am just sort of wrestling with the fact that this might be the end for how we've known it. And what does that mean moving forward? And I don't want to be the constant. I was a beacon of negativity for a real long time because the Mavericks were fucking stuff up. But we're past the Rubicon now, and in some really uncharted waters for anyone that wasn't a fan before 1998.
Yeah, we are.
So,
yep,
I think I'm going to host a group therapy here if anybody wants to hang out and stick around. If you're listening on the audio stream, that will go up at some point on Thursday, probably in the afternoon. Josh and I will be back on Friday. The Mavericks only have 2 games left. They're not 400, so they're going to finish under 500. I'm pretty sure the Mavericks are locked into the 10 seed. So shout out to whatever jackass. It's not fair. It's probably not their fault. Whatever person in marketing was like, you know what? We're guaranteeing you, season ticket holder, a seat at the Mavericks play-in game in Dallas, which will never happen now.
Yeah.
So, Josh, you got anything else before we go?
No, you're doing a live show?
I am. I'm going to post the link.
Yeah, you get to it then, buddy.
Second. Guys, we're actually gonna have stuff at Mavs Moneyball. So please head over there tonight. Josh is gonna write something. We have like 6 people turning stuff in. And we have some really lovely ideas. Meta is gonna post something overnight. She's just the best. She's like clockwork every week. Just a consistent colleague is a great colleague. Just everybody know that. Love those people. Josh, we look forward to what you're writing. We'll talk soon. Okay, guy?
Yep. Sounds good, buddy. You have fun live show.
Kirk Henderson, Josh Bowe, Pod Maverick After Dark. The Luca era is officially closed. It is time to move on now, and we're going to be moving on. We'll see you guys soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Group Therapy. I am Kirk Henderson. This is a part of the Pod Maverick podcast. I have a link in the chat, and there's already 8 people waiting to talk. If you are unfamiliar with how this show works and you're listening live on the YouTube stream, you can click the StreamYard app. I only have, quote, space for 10 people to wait into a waiting room. To use an old Twitter joke, if you're in line, stay in line. Keep trying to join the show, and we will see where things go. I have a number of my old friends that I've not talked to in some time, but I see someone, Tyron, who is at the game, so he gets to jump everybody. And then I'm going to bring on other people. I hope you guys don't mind. Coming up first, long, multi-platform listener, one of my favorite guests that will call in. Tyron, welcome. How you doing, friend? Wonder if Tyron knows he can hear us. I'm guessing he has an audio disconnect. Tyron, I'm going to remove you and maybe try to join and come back in here in a second. So if that's the case, I'm going to hop immediately to Karam. Karam, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Long time no talk.
Yes, sir. You too. Man, it was pretty emotional to kind of see like Luca like that. Like, you know, me being a grown-ass 38-year-old man getting emotional and teary-eyed over that, because you could see how sucky it is for him, because he didn't want this. And us as fans, obviously, we didn't want this either. But I'm happy it's over. I wouldn't say me as a fan, I have closure. I don't know if you can see, but I have a couple banners in my room, Maverick banners, being here from California. But it's like, I don't know. The one thing I didn't like about the game was, and understandable, I understand it, is, you know, saying fire Nico while your actual players are shooting free throws. I would have liked it more so if they were cheering when fire Nico when Laker players shot free throws, you know? Because one is a disrespect to the players, but I mean, now it gives them more incentive to ask for trades, and is like, what do you do now?
I mean, it was so when I'm going to try not to be insulting, but when a particular Mavs fan, and everybody knows which one, was like making this his whole deal, look at me during different games the last few weeks, that shit was weird because it was like off-putting. But when a whole bunch of when thousands of people are chanting it at once, it feels more part of the game. And, you know, we've watched European sports contests all across the board. You all see all sorts of wild shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where it felt, you know, it was emotional, it was consistent, but it was at once both strange and also very at home with what's going on. So
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. Do you mind if I say one more thing before I let you go?
Of
Well, I
course,
have
friend.
two. Do you think AD will ask for a trade after this? After the fire Nico chant and everything?
No,
You
I
think
don't
so?
think he will remain with the Mavericks though, and I don't think he will ever ask for a trade. I wish.
Well,
I hope for the best for him. He
don't we have?
seems like a good dude.
Well, how many years does he have in his contract? 1 year.
This season, next season, I think.
So you think he'll play out the next two and then just
Maybe. I could be wrong, but I mean he's due for one more contract, but it can't be that big because he's just not that guy.
Yeah. And then my second thing is, I mean, after the consistency, like you said, of Fire Nico chants, I mean, he has to get fired. I mean, Dumont has to look at this and be like, I mean, I gotta fire him. We're losing money with sponsorships. We're losing money with fans. You know, rescinding their season pass.
The wild ride.
We're losing a buttload of money, right? And you have the former owner calling you out.
He's so embarrassed because he knows this is his fault. I'm tired of seeing his face at stuff. He's like, look, he is such a pick-me-ass bitch. I'm tired of dealing with him. I shouldn't be using that language. I'm too old.
But you know what? But let me ask you a question. I agree, but I don't think he even knew or expected this to happen. No one did.
No one did, but it's just like that's why you do your due diligence. You don't sell your franchise to a group that you're not comfortable with. You don't employ someone who you think might snake you. Like he should be embarrassed.
I mean, I don't, but he didn't, right? That's why it was like the handshake thing. Like he didn't expect that to happen.
I'm sorry. At this level of money, you can't this is why I've crapped on his business acumen for 10 years because I think he's a terrible business person. But hey, now I got 10 people in the room and now I got other people going in. So hey, you're the best. Thank you so much for kicking off our show. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Talk soon. Okay. Coming up next, we're going to bring back Tyron again. And then Tyron, how you doing, friend? You muted yourself.
Hey, how's it going, Kirk? Can you hear me okay?
Good. I'm so sorry. I forgot about the baby.
Oh, no, it's all good. She's asleep. We're good. Let me step outside here for a second. All right. Yeah. So I'm just now getting back home from the game, and I'm still trying to process how I feel about it all. But that probably was the weirdest fucking sporting event I've ever been to in my whole entire life, for so many different reasons.
That's a sales pitch. Tell me more.
I mean, just the atmosphere was insane. You know, I'm used to going to games and seeing the other team's fans there, but when I tell you there were so many Lakers jerseys in the building, I'm gonna go ahead and step on a limb and say there was more Lakers jerseys than Mavericks jerseys there, which was off-putting. I understand why. Luka's with the Lakers now. We all love Luka. We miss Luka. Whatever. That's cool. But me being a lifetime Mavericks fan, seeing that much adoration for the opposing team was very, I almost want to say embarrassing. Because I mean, I'm 34 years old, so I've been watching basketball all my life. I'm from an era where you don't let somebody come into your home like that and just roll over on your back and just. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing. I wanted to take my jersey off by halftime. Shit was embarrassing.
That bad? So that much like either Lakers support or
because it's not like I understand. Like I wanted to go to this game in particular because Luca is my guy.
Sure.
Lakers, Mavericks, Slovenia, whatever.
We have gone through shit. You're right because we've criticized him together. We have loved some of his play. That's
he's gonna be my guy for life. However, first and foremost, I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, and when I see AD and Caleb Martin, two guys that we got from the trade, and Doug Christie, however you feel about the trade, every time they got on the line, the entire arena erupts and fire Nico chants. Like, again, I'm torn because I get it, but at the same time, that's fucking embarrassing. Why would those guys want to come out on the court and perform?
Yeah.
You know, I went with my dad tonight. We had a conversation about it. And he's like, you know, those guys get paid millions of dollars. They don't fucking care about, what the fans.
No,
have to
they
say.
very clearly do care.
They
do care.
absolutely care. They
PJ
100%
is pissed.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I admire him for at least being willing to say it. On the other hand, I'm like, the way you cope and the way you and this is where this has been a debacle for me. You go to more games than I do, but I feel like the Mavericks have leaned into the theater and made things worse.
100%.
And by doing that, it's resulted in really bad fan behavior because I am an emotional ass clown, but I really want to talk about the basketball more than anything else. Like I want to move on from Luka Doncic, not for a lot of reasons, because one, it hurts. Number two, it's just like he's not on the Mavericks. And they keep giving people reasons to be this emotional. And I think we would have had a bad situation regardless, but they've handled this so wrong the past few months that it's like this little mini insurgency, and you can't stop the signal. And they should be embarrassed. They need like a crisis PR team.
Yeah, I think at this point, after what I witnessed tonight, it's too late. It's too late. Like again, I could not believe that the whole arena was chanting "Fire Nico" while our guys were shooting on the line that we got from the trade. And I swear it was at one point in the game in the fourth quarter. It was like probably like a minute or two left. Caleb Martin was on the line. I swear he just threw the first free throw shot up. Like fuck it.
His shot also looks like it's like if you were to ask Chat GPT to show a basketball player / trebuchet, that's what his shot looks like. There's some weird shit going on there.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like the first free throw, like you could tell that was frustration. Like fuck it, front rim, like super hard. Like he's just like fuck it. This is how y'all feel. Like I don't want to be here. So again, I get it, but at the same time, I am embarrassed by how this fan base has completely showed their ass.
Okay.
And I don't think it's fair to AD. I don't think it's fair to Caleb Martin. I don't think it's fair to Christie. Like I said, I'm torn in the matter because I do understand where everybody's coming from, because that is the absolute dumbest fucking trade. I still can't even wrap my mind around it. And then the fact that my best friend is a Lakers fan, I'm going to be hearing about this shit for the rest of my life.
That also just comes with being friends with Lakers fans. I was out in Los Angeles. When Kobe scored 63 on the Mavericks, and I was in college, and it's like people still, it's like, but Lakers fans do have some shame. But now that we're through kind of the grief element of this, I think we're going to start to see our Lakers fans in our lives start to be really mean. So everybody brace yourself. Well, that's Brian, Tyron, that's a really good take. It's different. We've not really heard that perspective on here, because I think we get a lot of like, all right, hey, everybody's justified in how they're feeling, but being frustrated with, because I'm more on your side in the sense of I am a fan of laundry in the team's history than I am over a player. And I don't love how basketball is presented to us now, where you're basically allowed. And I'm not judging people, because lots of people do this, but it's like you follow the name on the back of the jersey place to place. And like, that's just not for me. Like I'm gonna admire Luca for what he does now, and I'm gonna be really sad if they actually end up doing something well. But like, we let him go. I hate it, but now I need to find something new.
Yeah, and I that's the sentiment I left the arena with tonight. Let me find something else to focus on. But it's very hard to find anything to focus on, because those guys came out with absolute no energy tonight. I don't know what the fuck Jason Kidd was doing. The whole situation was embarrassing. Like I got my old Dirk jersey on tonight. I took it off when I left the arena. I didn't even wear my jersey out the arena. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I'm sorry, man. Well, I am glad you came in here and talk some shop with us. I will tell you, The Dallas Mavericks are not. The Dallas area is getting a brand new superstar in about 5 days in Paige for the Dallas
yeah.
Wings. So we got that going
Ooh.
for us. Okay.
Yeah.
She's mean. I like watching her play. She does mean shit to people. Like I just like basketball players who play with an edge. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for telling us how tonight was. I'm really glad we got your perspective.
For sure. I'm glad I was able to hop back on. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. Talk soon. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm going to bring up some names that I'm less haven't seen as often, and I saw one name pop in here. We're gonna just an absolute legend to the cause. I've not spoken with Kenny, and it's got to be at least 2 years. But Kenny, welcome back to the show.
Hey.
Good to hear from you, friend. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Dad of 2 now. 1 and 3. Yeah.
God, you are in the muck. Look at you.
Yeah, I went off Twitter about, like, I deleted all social media, like maybe about like 20, 30 games left
That's
last season.
for your marriage and
great.
for your parenting. Because
Everything.
yeah, good for you, man.
Everything.
Congratulations. Really good to hear from you.
Yeah. I've been watching and listening. I listen to all the episodes. Great content. I still love it. Sorry to hear about your dad, man.
Thank you. Guys, for anybody that doesn't know, Kenny once sent me a screenshot of him listening to our podcast through his refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
And it just lives in my brain rent free of like, oh, this is technology. So tell me what you're thinking. I'm sure you have some great takes to fire off.
Man, I just don't know how to feel. Like, I want to hate the team, but I can't because it's just in me. I'm just rooting for Luca, but I'm like, I don't care if the Mavs win or lose, but as soon as Clay hits a 3, I'm doing the 3 gun like John Morant before he even goes in. So I'm confused. I'm confused and just I can't believe this happened. It has destroyed my love of basketball, and it's not just because we traded the guy. It's more about it's different than trying to just stack teams to win championships and go get Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis. It's not about that. It's not about just winning championships to me. It's about the journey. It's about the loyalty. Like I was in the Reunion Arena 92, 93 when the Mavs won 11 games when I was a kid. I'll be 40 this year. I was there. So this is just tearing me apart. It's I just can't believe it. And you offer him to one team. You could have gotten like Powell from Orlando. They probably would have you Powell, Franz Wagner, 3 first. You could have got whatever.
Anything.
Like if you want to trade him, cool. You want to trade him to the Lakers, cool. Get back Austin Reeves, get back Connect, get back Rui, get every single pick that they have. You got finessed. Like, and it's just, he has to be, I mean, I know he's not going to be fired, but it's just, I can't support it. But I still want them to win because I'm not just a Mavs fan. I feel like I am a Dallas Maverick. Always have been since I was a little kid. And it just ripped the heart out of the whole city.
Yeah.
Like, out of the whole, and it's not that they did it. If you're tired of a player, you want to get rid of them, cool. But if that's what you're going to do, stand on it. Don't be a coward. Hide in the tunnel. Tuck your tail between your legs. Be a man. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what he does? I don't know. Did you hear me say, I know from talking to people that when he goes to away games, the asshole meanders to center court. Basically tries to talk shop with people for 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes before any other game.
What a coward! I just can't. And it sucks because I was just so happy when he got here. You know, he got his Kyrie, you know, all that good stuff. But this is just inexcusable. I can't. Like I don't know if I ever feel the same about this again. Like I was in the Reunion Arena when the tickets were $3 and there was no one in the lower bowl, so we got $50 seats for free. Ushers point to us at the top. Hey, you come down, and you come down. That's how long I've been a Mavs fan. They were terrible. Was that what 92? They won like 11 games and they won like 13 the next year. They were terrible.
Good.
Terrible. That's how long I've been a Mavs fan, and they just ripped it out. They just ripped it out.
It's the worst.
It's bad. It's and they're about to make the play-in. That just makes it. And you know Nico's justified. Oh look, if Kyrie doesn't get hurt, if AD doesn't get hurt, but that's not the point.
Yeah, I really hate that part. It's like it'll be a talking point instead of something that's actually true.
Yeah, like I don't care about trying to stack teams and win 3, 4, 5 championships. To me, more so, it's about the journey.
Sure.
It's the journey.
No, because and that's kind of why I honestly will likely, Josh and I have like repeatedly talked about quitting the last few weeks, just being honest with everybody. And like you do this for the things that happen along the way. Like I was in DC by myself in 2011, and like I didn't have anybody to celebrate it with after they won. I went and walked the dog by myself, had nobody to talk to about it. It was so depressing. And now that I have like all these people, guys like you and everybody that join these shows, like I want to do this with people. Like
Right.
It's like community is like, as I get older and, I'm sure you've seen this having little kids, like you start to kind of long for adult communication.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So this is just, it's brutal, but man, I'm really sorry this has happened to all of us. But I am glad you hopped on here.
Yeah. Let me say one more thing. Don't quit. I listen to y'all every episode. I still listen to the Outsiders before they stop. Still listening.
They're gonna keep going. We're gonna badger Bibbs back into it. He's full of shit. He's like, I'm gonna quit. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You hear us, Bibbs?
Everyone who does the Mavs content, please keep doing it because I listen to it.
That's right.
I might not be on Twitter, but I do listen to everything still. So keep up the good work. I love y'all and appreciate y'all for having me up.
Kenny, you're the man. Talk soon. Thanks so much.
Sir.
Okay. If you're trying to get in the room, keep trying. We only have 10 people waiting. Now we're going to work. And now I'm bringing up somebody that I don't remember if I've talked to Sid before, but we're going to go for it. Sid, what's up? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have chatted before.
I am
maybe on Twitter, but
thank you for joining the show. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, I don't know if I can say I'm pretty good, but all things considered, I guess
we're getting through it.
We're getting through it. Yes, I guess this is like my my venting session because
yes, that's exactly what this is. This is talk radio.
Basically, yeah, I think I've said that I think I'm done with the team. I think I've said that. I think I may have said that to you online. Actually, I think I said I don't know how you guys are sticking with it, but I check in, here and there, see how they're doing. But I think I had to break up with them. I actually don't live in Dallas anymore, so I live in Milwaukee. So when the Mavericks played Milwaukee a few weeks ago, I went to the game because I already had tickets. Cried the whole first quarter. I was like, I can't believe that they did this. And I don't know. I've always been a person that, like you guys were saying earlier, like you root for the laundry, but
yeah,
I think this is an exception. This is
the stain.
Where I'm like, I just don't think I can do it, but I can't really be a Lakers fan either. So I'm like, I'm without a basketball home now. I'm just kind of fuck the NBA on some level. Like,
I don't blame you. I mean, this is the quest for championships has so overtaken elements of sports discussion and fandom, and obviously front offices. And in doing so, you lose a little something. I mean, the folks in Milwaukee have Giannis, and I'm not sure if you're friends with any Bucks fans, but those people are psychotic about him in all the best and worst ways.
Right.
Like they latch on and they defend him like he's a trueborn son of Milwaukee. And it's like,
right.
I love that. Like, that's what this is for. We're not allowed to hate, and nor should we. We shouldn't hate stuff, but we can hate in sports. We can, it's like the one last place where you can truly be a psychopath and not be harmful.
Exactly.
And I don't want them to I don't want people to lose that. So, but I do understand why this isn't for you anymore.
I don't enjoy it, and I'm not. And it also helps that like I'm not an Anthony Davis fan. I've never been an Anthony Davis fan, so I'm like, so you traded for a guy, you traded Luca, then you traded for a guy that I don't like, and you traded him to the Lakers. Like,
how many shots can you take before you don't have any more?
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Fuck Nico forever. Like I just
show us your hat. Lean down. We need to see. Yes.
Yeah. And maybe a disrespectful Luca.
You have the sweatshirt. Holy shit! I didn't even notice. Oh my god! For everybody that doesn't know, Sid has on a Fire Nico hat, and then she has on a red sweatshirt that has, it's like one of the band ones that has it's like a Luca on top of photoshopped on top of Jack Kennedy before he was shot in the head. And it's got a nation mourns headline. Like, this is pristine content. Oh my God, you're gonna be our Slack, our content, or one of our writers at Mavs Moneyball, Gracie, also has that shirt. She's gonna die when I point this out to her.
Yeah, no, it might be a little disrespectful, but I was like, I had to buy it when I saw it.
Look, man, this is a time in history. This
Exactly.
is incredible.
Exactly. Nobody gives a fuck about anything else, so I don't give a fuck either. So.
If you can, find the link and post it in the YouTube chat. The chat's like, where did you get that? They're blowing up. This is amazing.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, okay?
All right. Thanks to you guys, too. I still check in, like, when the Mavericks lose, because I'm still pissed about it. Even though if I'm not a fan, I'm still mad. So I will still check in when you guys
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye. Sid, what a great, this is why I always encourage new people. Again, guys, if you're trying to get in, I got like, this is where we're going to fly through people. We're going to talk to as many people as we can. We're going to go to my man, Leo, next. Leo, how you doing?
Well, you kind of brought me up with that. Hi.
All right, man. I'm sauced. I have a drink in my hand, and
Can
so
the chat know
what do
what's
we
in the
got? What
cup?
do we got going?
Can we know what's in the cup, or is it top?
Oh yeah, it's vodka.
Oh,
I can't drink
Just
brown
the color.
liquor. I can't run the next day if I have brown liquor, but vodka I can do fine. So tell me, what are we thinking?
this is just me. I don't know if I want to focus on the show. On the actual game, it was beautiful, but I don't think I'm a Mavs fan anymore, so I don't know if it'd be just fine to gush over Lakers players. So I just want to talk about the Mavs PR shit of it. PR shit show.
Sure, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Do any of your friends in the local media do you know if any of them foresaw the fans being as mad as they are now, or
No.
being mad as continuously as they are?
No, because if you're a beat reporter, your job is to basically say who, what, where, when, why, and how. And I think this mad has been provoked by the Mavericks themselves. I really think this wouldn't have been a thing if they wouldn't have been stupid in the 3 weeks following the trade.
Because that was one of the questions I kind of had for Tim McMahon, because he seems to be like the most plugged in and the only person okay with calling out the bullshit that happens around here, regardless of how fans feel about him. But it is insane to me that no one else thought that people were going to be this mad. And maybe I'm just a spiteful asshole, but God, this has made me so fucking mad to the point where I feel bad for AD. Top 75 player, really good defensive player, two-way player when he decides he wants to play basketball. But I can't stand the man or the players or the fans that have come with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the message that came out about the tribute video trying to be like the Mavs giving the fans a chance to have closure at last felt so condescending and just irritating to be like, this is your chance. We are graciously giving you the option to no longer feel bad about losing Luca. This is us giving you the opportunity to, move on. And it's maddening.
No, I mean, they just don't know what they're doing. We're dealing with people that don't know what they're doing, and that's okay. Like once it processes in your brain that the Dallas Mavericks are simply not that different than the mom and pop hardware store in your hometown, and that they fuck up just like everybody else, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Nico has replaced whole elements of the front and back office. People have come and gone. That's normal. And a lot of these people just don't know what they're doing, or they're new to this, or they couldn't have expected anything like this. Like it's a mess. It's a mess.
I don't know. This just feels like a slap in the face more than anything.
I mean, they're trying to unfuck themselves, I promise you, but they just don't know how.
It just feels wrong, man. I haven't been the Mavs fan for the longest time, but I've been a follower of your content for I don't know how long. I was in the rooms whenever Mark Stein would join in after the
that was
Suns
Green
game.
Room. Like that was like 5 years ago. You've been a fan for a plenty long time. Don't say that.
But that was different. Like having thousands of people in a call waiting to celebrate something. Like I forget our name of our old guy from Europe that doesn't join anymore after his father died. But like they're legends in the community that people won't hear from anymore.
Shout out to Akiva. His son still listens. I know that. Or his
like,
son-in-law.
there are things that are lost in the ether of the world because it sucks so much. But this was beautiful. This was natural. This was people finding other people because they wanted to find likewise hearted interest. And the fact that they just shat on it for nothing because they thought they wanted their boy in town, and their boy showed his ass.
It's really something, man.
For anyone at the current time, it's 10:28, and the Suns are beating the Thunder, so the Mavs still aren't in the play-in. Hope everyone has a good night.
All right, talk soon, buddy. Okay, Leo. Then we're gonna go Bryce next, and I have a bunch of regulars. I can tell my man Simon out in DC is dying. We got Sudarshan in India, and it's probably like 9 a.m. We have all sorts of folks. But Bryce, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the show. Tell me your thoughts.
Oh, you're all good. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, so the game language. Do we have any kind of restrictions here? I'm not gonna be Kirk ever. Okay, the game can go fuck itself. Did you have to? This is actually well from playback.
Oh, good to see you. Okay.
Yeah, finally hopping in. Did you watch tonight on? Was it ESPN or was it the Mavs broadcast?
ESPN, and it was like Richard Jefferson trying to figure out what side of a conflict he was on. Like that was a man without a country who realized that his friends, meaning Jason Kidd and anybody adjacent to Jason Kidd, were on the wrong side of history. It was something else.
So you can probably answer this question pretty well because I know from knowing some people, the broadcast itself for Mavs media, the Mavs games, the camera work, are those Mavs employees or are those for the local stations?
I think they're Mavs employees now. Because
okay. So then there's going to be some trouble. The reason I said this was during the game, I was writing it down because of how crazy it was. During the game, while one of the fire Nico chants was happening, they zoomed in on Nico standing in the tunnel, clear as day, and he just looked so fucking awkward. And everyone, I was like, "That's the Mavs broadcast." Like I know ESPN did it, but like the Mavs broadcast just pulled the camera down and panned on him, just looking pissed. They showed a fan in the crowd wearing a Nico Harrison Lakers jersey. It was a custom-made Lakers jersey that said Nico Harrison on the back.
That was really incredible. Really incredible stuff.
They were showing, I don't know if you saw the clip online where like they were doing the karaoke for all the small things, and then the fan pulled up the Nico Suck shirt and they cut away real quick because he snuck that on there.
Love that. That was great.
And then for the next hour, they showed only kids on the screen. They stopped showing adults until there was 30 seconds left in the game. They finally showed a drunk group of frat boys.
Guys, teach your children to say Nico sucks. Teach your children.
But the reason I was asking if you saw it was, so there was a part during the game where, and you might remember it, where the Lakers had the ball and it looked like they were just fucking with the Mavericks. It looked like Harlem Globetrotters bullshit. They were, when LeBron tried to throw the alley-oop over his head was how the play ended, and they got 4 offensive rebounds. And they were just making everybody fall down. And I didn't think Fallaway would say anything, but he even goes, they're playing. This is Harlem Globetrotters versus the Generals right now. The Mavericks look like the Generals on the court right now, as the Lakers are just having fun and laughing at the expense of this team. And I'm like, of all the people to say that, I did not expect that from a Mavs person directly to reference how shitty the Mavericks look right now.
That was Fallaway?
Yeah. And I'm assuming the clip will. It was follow out, and holy crap, I'm blanking on who's his.
So it was either Devin Harris or
it was Harper. It was Harper.
Harper gives no fucks. That man is riot.
And they were just going in about how ridiculous the Mavs defense looked because I think it was Lively was on the court, but Lively fell and everyone was getting crossed over, and then Reeves just jumped in and it looked ridiculous. And then at the end, what surprised me was, I don't know if you noticed, Kidd didn't give 2 fucks about Luca being on the court. He went and dapped up LeBron and then headed beeline to the locker.
No, because he knows that Kidd is responsible.
There
are all these people that like to tell me the Kidd didn't have anything to do with it. And I'm just can we use our eyes, people?
So where can I find, and you may know this, where can I find old broadcasts of Mavs games? It usually is on NBA TV, but because it was on ESPN, they won't re-show it on will they, or is they unless somebody recorded it on their devices, it's gone?
Yeah, I do not know.
Because the reason I asked was at the end, when they got to the layup, got to the lines to dap up everybody, they showed Kidd hugging LeBron, and then real quick they cut over to Luca, and he saw Kidd beelining it for the locker room, and he stares him down, he taps Markieff and goes, and it looked like he said, "Look at that bitch," as he's walking Like it looked clear as day reading his lips. And like as soon as it happened, I was looking over Twitter. I'm like, please, for the love of God. But most people watched it on ESPN. Like you had to be watching the Mavs broadcast, so it had to be local. But like I was like, I couldn't find it. Like I found the clip of like him staring down Kid as he's walking away, but you can't see his face because it's an above shot of him staring Kid down.
See, guys,
And
this is why I do these shows. Do you understand the kind of citizen journalism you're doing right now? This is outstanding stuff.
You can find there's two clips and they pair up very good where you see Kid beelining for it and there's a fan just screaming at him from like the upper decks of like, you bitch, motherfuck you. And then there's another angle, I think Grant posted it, of him filming like Luca just going to depth and you see him tap Markieff on the shoulder and look and like kind of point at Kid as he's like running off the court.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and it's just like, and you could see, and you can't read his lips because it's further up, so you can't see his face. But like that was when the camera was zoomed in on him for the Mavs broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I wanted to tell you, and then I'm gonna head out of here. One, Cuban definitely knew about it because it's been linked. I think it was by Cato that said that he knew they weren't going to offer him the max.
No,
so
Cuban didn't know anything. Cuban changes his story to every person.
Oh, does he? Okay, well,
yeah. And what happened? So if you go back to the time of the trade, Cuban wasn't involved in any conversation for like a month. And then all of a sudden people started to be like, well, he hired this fucking guy. And then Cuban's like, oh, hey, I didn't know anything. Let me go on a comedy podcast. Let me talk to this, that, and the other. Let me get in a Facebook argument. The bottom line, and this is really important, Mark Cuban can hold, like, we have to be able to hold multiple thoughts about Mark Cuban in our mind. Mark Cuban is very important to the history of Dallas basketball. Very important. He helped lift the Mavericks out of the doldrums, and along with Dirk and along with lots of roster tinkering, they eventually won the 2011 title. Yes. And then he started to think that he was part of the reason why they won. And then he started to get so involved with basketball operations that drunken Donnie Nelson and irritating Rick Carlisle were such active. Kendrick Perkins talked about this at one point. Like people didn't want to come to the old white guy Mavs, and Mark Cuban basically like presided over their demise until they lucked in to Luca.
That was because of Rondo, wasn't it? Wasn't that didn't the Rondo thing spur that with Perkins, and then Perkins just went on a tirade of like, nah, you don't want to ever go there, and he picked up that Rondo stick and just ran with it.
That's right.
The other thing was you were saying about the talking point with Nico. He's got to do an interview to use that as a talking point. Still hasn't met with anybody. And the final thing was my cousin works for the Rangers, and from a family perspective, I want to thank the Mavericks. I am a Mavericks fan, but the engagement the Rangers have gotten these first like 20 games because Dallas fans just need to find a sports team to actually give a shit about. Whereas the Rangers, nobody gave two fucks about the Rangers. Even after like they won the World Series, everyone's like, yay, cool. It's baseball. Who cares? He said the engagement for all of their social media posts are dramatically higher than they have ever been since they've been on social media. And the viewership from what he's hearing is like dramatically, because people just need something to fucking do, because basketball is going to be over in 10 minutes, and it's been over for most of the fans for months now, and they've just like, please, Rangers, please be good.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. But yeah, if I can find somebody that posts the actual zoom in of his face, I will tag you on Twitter just so you can have fun with it. But I saw it and I was like, did they just? And they cut it away as soon as he started like saying it. But I was like, unless I'm an idiot, that was clear as fucking day. And then I saw the above view of him tapping Markieff and be like, fucking look at that piece of shit. And
absolute legend. Yeah, absolute legend. Okay, so you're the man, Bryce. Hope you come back. Okay.
I definitely will. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll be watching the rest of the show.
Oh yeah. So all right, now I got a bunch of regulars and a couple of names I don't recognize. So I hope my regulars don't want to quit on me. But here I'm going to go to James next, and then Simon, then Brian, then Sudarshan. James, how we doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can. You sound great.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I've listened to your podcast since the pandemic. So it's my first time I ever called you guys. So just hello.
I am so grateful for that kind of long time listening. Thank you, James. Well, what are we thinking tonight?
So basically, watching AD play next to Lively, that was rough. Like Gafford played way better, and I just don't think AD is a 4. He's just not. He's just not. Like, he doesn't shoot the 3. He doesn't space. He wants to shoot jump shots. He doesn't want to bully ball even when he has someone small on him. And I don't think having Kyrie is going to make that much of a difference, especially if he's like kind of hobbled next year. Like, I mean, and Bucky Nico Harrison says defense wins championships. His defense sucks. I mean, if the culture he wants to build is, losing, then have at it. I guess. I mean, I like AD as a 2, but I mean, it's just and also too. One other point I want to say as a Mavs fan, like a team has to have their fans. Like a team needs their hardcore fans to survive, and the only way they bring us back is Nico has to go, and it won't be this offseason. It'll be next one, and that's the only way I think our fan base can actually heal is for him to go. He has to go.
I agree that you got to have some closure.
Yeah, he has to be the I wouldn't say sacrificial lamb because he's not a sacrificial lamb, but he has to go. He has to be like hung up like a witch on the fire stakes and be fired.
They're just sports is so far in the modern culture, nobody can say they're wrong. I have a friend, his name's Spike Eskin. He covers the Philly markets, and he made a comment in like week 5 of the of the NFL season about their coach. And he then spent the entire rest of the season basically saying, look, I was wrong in this take. I'm sorry I was wrong. I want to move on from this take. After they won the Super Bowl, he's still getting people telling him, you were wrong. Like, it's just no one wants right. Yeah. Sirianni, nobody wants to move on. Everybody would rather be right than win.
Right.
And that's a sickness. And like, I remember I made a series of pithy offhand comments about Jalen Brunson when he used to be like Rick's sixth man and would take shitty shots because he would. I'm sorry. It's what Brunson would do. And I was like, please, can we trade the guy? And people still are like, you wanted to trade him. And it's like, fuck it. Like I said, I was wrong about Kyrie. I've been wrong a ton. And it's just, people would much rather yell about sports and be right than they would win. And like, that's just not how I'm built. Like, I would rather win and turn. It's more fun to talk about when I'm wrong, to be honest.
Well, it's funny. So during Nico's tenure, we dumped KP for Spencer Dinwiddie, and then we lost Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic, and we're older with no draft picks. I mean, it's going to be dark in 4 years.
No one wants to believe it. Like, I argue with local media. Even Tim McMahon was like, they're not going to quit. And I'm just like, well, there's a difference between quitting and then just losing because you suck. Like, that's what's going to happen.
I'm in the camp that they should trade AD for picks now and just tank for a few seasons, honestly, or like get their picks back because they're not going to
do something.
I don't see them coming out of this. I mean, they're not a championship caliber team, which was Nico's goal. They're not. They're just not.
Yep. Well, I'm grateful for you waiting. Thanks for hanging out. We'll hope you come back. Okay?
Yeah, I will.
All right. We'll talk soon, James. You have a good night.
Thanks.
Okay. I lied about my order, but I'm bringing up Simon next. Simon, my longtime DC-based friend. How we doing?
Good, man. It's a big enough night where I actually have to come on cam tonight. So,
it's a luscious beard. You look good. Tell me what you're thinking on the game tonight, because
a lot of ball, a lot of oil.
You're our most verbose commenter. So tell me what you got, and then we got to go to other people.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. I'm not sure exactly how you meant it, but
no, it is, because you helped me fill the space, man. Are you kidding me? You and Brian are my favorite.
I want to try to be quick because I know there's a lot of people waiting, and I want to be respectful of them. But so I watched the game on delay. I didn't get home till 9:30, and I had it recorded. Didn't watch any spoilers, read any spoilers, so I kind of watched it, fast forwarded through it, and then hopped on, as soon as I was done with it. So since I've been on, I really haven't heard anybody talk about the game tonight. Specifically,
Josh and I did. We spent about 25 minutes.
I know you did, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to that in the morning. I promise you.
Sure. No. Let's talk about the game. Tell me what you're thinking.
I really only want to talk about Luca. He didn't look 100% physically. Like he looked like he was kind of meandering, laboring a little bit, but he still looked like he was determined to get to the rim.
Yes.
Which is what, like, whenever I've criticized him, it's when I've seen him at times like look better physically, but not really attack the rim. And that's kind of when I would be frustrated with him. But tonight it looked like he wasn't 100% physically, but he was still determined to get to the rim. And obviously it helped that 3 balls were dropping for him in the first half. And I mean, overall, masterful performance. And it got me thinking a couple things. Number one, like a lot has been made of like the his splits between first half and second half scoring. And what tonight reiterated to me was a lot of the reason for that is because when he just goes out and destroys a team in the first half, they inevitably start sending double teams to him at half court, and he just accepts it, and he gives the ball up, and he plays through it, he really is he is a team player at heart. And I think tonight was an example that, once LeBron got cooking, he let LeBron cook. He didn't really try to force anything. But Kirk, did you go to the game tonight or no?
No, I never go.
No.
It's too difficult for me logistically.
And maybe this is from my perspective because I was fast forwarding through all the breaks and stuff, but obviously in the first quarter, every time Luka got the ball, the fans were going ballistic. They were cheering, everything like that. Most of the rest of the game, it kind of seemed like they were confused, other than the fire Nico chants during the free throws and things like that. It just seemed like it was a weird game to watch on TV. It was a weird viewing experience.
We had a caller earlier, Tyron, who said that the game was extraordinarily pro Luca, pro Lakers, to the point to where he was kind of pissed off.
Well, like what? Doris Burke, you mean?
No, like the fan base, like the arena energy was pro Luca and pro Lakers.
But didn't you kind of expect that?
I did, but I also haven't gone, and I can't help but feel for Tyron and anybody that's like considers themselves a Mavs fan first, where you're at this and you're like, what? This is our house, and look at these people. And I think we had to have it happen at least once.
What did you make of Luka's reaction to the pregame video?
Honestly, it's one of the most upsetting sports moments in my life.
It was upsetting to me.
Yeah. If you feel like, look, we're men. Men don't really do emotions well. I was like, my chest hurt, man. You feel for him. His whole, Mark Stein reported that his house got robbed in the months before the trade, and that he had just secured a new home
by the Chileans.
Whatever or organized crime ring that was, and he got his house robbed, and he's secure. And I can't imagine, but I've read about what that does to you as a person when somebody breaks in and violates your space.
Yeah,
and he's got a small child. It's got to be scary. And so he finds a new house. The Mavs congratulate him, and then the Mavs fucking trade him. He actually said he was excited to sleep in his own bed. He's still the Mavs fuck this
keep that house
raw. It is maddening.
But you know what? The thought I had watching that pregame, the tribute, and especially Luka's reaction, and I think this is what makes Luka such a compelling individual as a sports figure is.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch him as a fan, you really feel like you're along for the ride with him. He really lets you in that way. Obviously, he's a great player. Anthony Davis is a great player, and this is not a slight against Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is not a compelling personality. He's not a compelling figure. He's a great basketball player. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's a top 75. All that kind of stuff, but he's just not compelling in the way that Luka is, where especially
you're
for
with
Dallas,
him, you're
with him, and we all know his faults that have been reported. I did read the McMahon book, by the way. I'm going to finish talking about Luka, and then I'll get into my main takeaway from that book. But Luka really his emotions, they can be detrimental when he's complaining to the refs and when he kind of gets in his own head. But if you're a fan of the guy, he really kind of takes you along that ride with him. And it's I think you even said in McMahon's article, right? It's like the hero's journey, right? That was your quote, right? It's overcoming not only obstacles that are put in front of him, but his own foibles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the joy of watching him. I did want to make this one comment about McMahon's book. I read it. It was great. It had a lot of stuff I knew, certain things I didn't. But my main takeaway from that book is what a clown show of an organization the Mavs were under Cuban.
Mhm.
Like the left hand was not talking to the right.
A lot of
That
self-fulfilling prophecy.
That whole situation with Varalabob and Donnie. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, I don't want to go too much into that, but then like him selling the team and then thinking like he's going to get a handshake agreement.
He's a douche canoe. I'm tired of Cuban.
I mean, but then he's going out of his way on this media tour to abscond himself from any responsibility for the trade. And like, I get it. Like if he was a majority owner, he would have never traded Luca. I totally understand that. But dude, you hired the guy who traded him and you sold the team to the ownership that approved it. Like you bear some culpability in this. And he's going way out of his way to just to pass any blame. I was actually reading my notes to see what else
I love that you take notes. This is what we call a hardcore.
The thing is I usually don't, but like once I jumped on, I had to prepare prepare a couple things, but I think I covered everything I want.
Well, I'm glad you joined us. Thanks for staying up late. I'll let you get to bed before midnight.
Well, I just want to say one thing, Kirk, for you, okay? As a small business owner myself, I really appreciate what you do for this community and giving people like me and everybody else a chance to come up here and talk and vent. I know, and like my small business is my life. I don't have a job and then it's business. Like you have a regular job and then you do this on the side. So I commend the commitment and the effort that you put into this. And I know you mentioned earlier that you and Josh are spoken about
Josh talks about quitting every 6 weeks, and I have to pull him back from the brink. And then there's me, and I'm just like, what would I do with all this free time? And it's like I would watch. I'm bringing up my guy Brian next, and the answer is watch television and play video games. And so one day I'm going to walk into the sea.
Get caught up on White Lotus. No, man, it's really.
Well, thank you. Those are kind words.
No, and I mean it. I know the effort that you put into it, and especially, I know you have kids and I know you have a main job and then you do this. So I know your days are jam-packed. But I really appreciate it. And
sure thing, bud. I'm glad people like it.
I don't know what the future bears for you guys, but I'll keep following you and hopefully we'll get to talk again in the future and wish you all the best, Kirk.
Talk soon, Simon. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Simon. I'm going to insert some ads here at some point. Let's see here. It's about an hour 38 into this bad boy. I'm going to leave about 10 seconds of silence so I can see it on the feed. Please listen to those ads if you're listening. All right, welcome back to Pod Maverick Group Therapy. The man, the myth, the legend, recent Mavs Moneyball edition. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I am, I don't know how I'm feeling. That was certainly a game, huh?
The basketball is actually kind of weird and fun. I enjoyed it. And then everything else around the game, it feels like a simulation type thing. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah, none of that felt real or like anything that should be happening. It was honestly very funny. Also very funny watching AD get his shit pushed in by like Jackson Hayes,
poor guy,
and like Dorian Finney-Smith and like Jared Vanderbilt.
That's right.
Like, look, man, shout out to Tyron. It was good to hear his voice and see him on here speaking. It had been a while. Yeah, a couple of people that I hadn't heard, Karam, a couple of people I hadn't heard from in a minute. I'm sorry, bro. If we calling anybody pathetic here, it ain't the fan base. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I can imagine like you're at the game, you're seeing all these people cheering for the fucking Lakers. It's got to do something to you spiritually.
Look, if you if you wake up, if you crawl from under a rock and you have been under there for like 4 months and you have zero context as to why there are all those Laker jerseys in there, I could understand that being very surprising to you. But as someone who has lived through the last 4 months, if I am going there, I know fully what to expect. It's gonna look weird, but we know who made it weird. I ain't finna blame the people who got mad. You know what I mean? So
I do hate people that just flip. Like, hate's a strong word. I have eyebrow level and slight disdain for people that are like, you know what? I'm gonna go be a Lakers fan.
well, no,
all.
here's
That's
the thing.
all.
I'm not even like that's odd to me, but I'm not even mad at that. What I'm mad at are the people who are like, look at what Nico took from us. And I'm like, dog, you got Lake Show in your bio now. What are you talking? He didn't take it from you. You still with the guy. What are you talking about? You didn't lose anything. Go have fun. Enjoy the win. Y'all won. But like, I don't know. It's like the game was what I hoped it would be. It was a Mavs loss, which y'all crucify me for saying that. I don't care. I've been rooting for this team to tank since a little bit before Kyrie got injured. Frankly, the first time he went down with that back injury, I said, okay, yeah, it's time to go ahead and shut this down. And then he came back like a week later and was just playing through it, and nobody said anything about it. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then the big injury came after a myriad of other injuries. And I just said, sure, okay, y'all should have shut this down like a month ago, but here we are now. Y'all have an opportunity to shut it down. And they still kind of didn't. They lost games because they stunk, but they brought everybody back too early. That's why Lively was out there looking like a drill cone today. He couldn't guard anybody in space. He could barely guard anybody at the rim. He couldn't take any contact, couldn't really move. Dan Gafford looked really good.
Yes,
But
you did.
yeah, Lively and AD were cones. Lively was at least giving effort. It was just pointless. Nobody even cared that he was out there. AD was a ghost in what is probably the biggest game in the latter half of his career, which is kind of I'm wearing a Kentucky shirt. I'm a big Kentucky guy. I've always been a fan of Anthony Davis, but this is kind of part of the course with AD. This is what he does. Dude can just be he's like
he's only good
Andrew
against
Wiggins
bad.
on
He's
every
only good
steroid.
against bad teams. I'm sorry. He's only good against bad teams. That's
He can be he used to be like great against great teams too, and like great centers especially, but that was when he was still forced he still had his hand forced to like play the five more often by the roster construction, by his coaches, by his teammates. He doesn't have any incentive to do any of that here. They have two perfectly fine centers, you know what I mean, between Lively and Gafford. The coach ain't coaching shit. He ain't gonna tell him to go play center and too bad nobody cares about your feelings. He's not gonna tell him that as long as he's here and as long as Nico's here. So yeah, he's gonna play the four. He's gonna muck up the offense. We're not gonna have any driving lane. So PJ is gonna continue to get stripped on all his drives. And God, was he terrible today. Yeah, it was just real bad. And then they had Austin Reeves dunking on him too, Rui styling on him, hitting transition threes and stuff. I was like, ooh boy, y'all got no pride at all. Shout out to Najee. Najee was the only one that went out there and played like it meant something.
He did. Man, always plays hard.
Yeah, man. Najee Marshall is gonna be like the lost bastion of what could have been this season had this team stayed together. Like, okay, we go into this season, into this postseason with this guy offensively instead of Derrick Jones Jr. Now he's not nearly the defender, but man, imagine what that team could have looked like. And we're never gonna know, and it kind of stings. And worse than it stinging is like, man, we let that dude go, and we got back a dude that, quite frankly, nobody in the organization really has faith in
That's
AD
right.
to be a number one.
That's right. It's wild. Oh God. Well, we're almost done, and then we can start talking about draft pick stuff.
Thank God.
And the best part about the draft pick stuff is like we're going to talk all about it, and then Nico's going to like trade it for like a bag of shredded cheese.
I'll be so sick if he trades it for like Kobe White, then whatever, I guess. Like I'll grin and be happy about that. But he's gonna trade that pick for a bag of shit for like a vet that we don't need because.
Look, guys, we can't like Harmon in the chat says Cooper Flag. If the Mavericks get the number one pick, we can't. The conspiracy theories that will come out of my mouth will absolutely get me put on so many lists of like I'm already messing with the DLLS guys because they're apparently having on people that aren't like even fake Mavs content creators that haven't done stuff for you. Like Jason Gallagher is live on their show right now because they won't invite me. And then they had on other people. It's like I will never be allowed to go on other shows if the Mavericks get a chance to get Cooper Flag because I don't believe they will actually draft Cooper Flag.
I think they get. I don't think even Nico can. They'll fire him before they let him like just not make the pick.
I don't know, man.
Everyone.
I saw that guy waddling down the hall today, looking like a fucking duck. I don't know if you saw that video of him. Like he can't even
Post game
straight. Yes.
Oh my dude, he looked so shitty. He looked like he had to poop.
Yes,
real bad.
He
was real. But I think someone tweeted. Someone tweeted. They said Nico just had the least successful hate watch I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Like, yeah, just all over his balding ass head. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he's got to feel shitty. And frankly, he should feel shitty. It should be much worse on him. But no, yeah, it'll absolutely be some frozen envelope stuff if we get the number one pick. And guess what? We deserve it.
We do deserve it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Spurs
if we get it, then too bad. Everybody else can complain. Too bad. Sorry, Philly. Sorry, Washington.
It's so good, man. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and staying late.
Of course, dude. Always.
All right. We will talk soon. All right.
Yep.
All right. Bye. I'm going to go in order now. So we're going to go to Sudarshan next and then Potemeyer, which is a really good name. Sudarshan, how you doing, buddy?
Morning, Kirk.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting for so long. How you doing?
No, it's fine. It's probably good. I'm almost done with the grade speech. So quick question. If I give Nico Harrison an F grade, can I say fuck Nico Harrison on a post?
No, but what you should do is use symbols. That's fine.
Yeah.
I won't take it out.
Yeah.
Good question. This is us workshopping work over the air. So how are we doing?
Is this the most positive or the most celebrated loss in
yes,
franchise history?
hands down. No one comes to these things after losses. The ridiculous Twitter. So over 3,500 people have had a view of this show through Twitter. It doesn't mean we have had 3,500 guests. But yeah, it's really something.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of an after party than group therapy at this point.
Yep. Well, we got to have some fun.
It was surreal as a game. It was great, actually, to see Luca get the love that he got from the fans. But, and usually I'm against the ESPN broadcast, but man, they were on point for.
Well, they worked their way to it. It took them half the game of like realizing this was bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it felt like I don't know whether it was the broadcast or whatever it was, but it felt like the mic got turned up every time it was people shooting free throws and the fans were going fire Nico. I mean, I don't know whether that was just the arena being that loud or what. It was insane. Like, usually, I mean, if it was the Mavericks broadcast, it would probably get turned down or people would switch or something like that. But this was insane.
And I love that part. That was fun. Yeah,
yeah, you were right about Richard Jefferson and the crew itself was a bit weird. You know, Mike Breen was being as honest as possible. Doris Burke was, I don't know, in her own world, I guess, and Richard Jefferson was just like trying to sort of mediate between everything.
I think that's an accurate summation.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what more is to be said at this point? It was the perfect game.
It ended in a, like, I think if you had an agenda to get off, everybody got one.
Oh yeah. It was I mean, I still will not jump up and down like rooting for the Lakers or anything like that, but in this game you could say that I was as close to it as possible as a Mavericks fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all I had to say. It is what it is.
You're the man. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Look for everybody. Click Pseudoshan's grades will get posted probably tomorrow at this point, but look for that. And they're fun pieces. They're just a different look at the game. Everybody be good. You'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, Pseudoshan?
Yeah. Take care. Good night, Cook.
Yep. Right. All right. Potemeyer and then Glenn will close this out. Potemeyer, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Kirk? Can you hear me?
I can, and I'm sorry for making you wait. I'm really appreciative of you hanging out and joining the show.
Oh no. It's all good. Don't apologize at all. I love you guys. I love you and Josh. I commented on one of y'all's YouTube videos a couple weeks ago. This is the best podcast for the Dallas Mavs fans. Even after this trade, you're the only podcast I listen to consistently because I want to support you guys.
Thank you.
Oh no, I mean you're welcome, but seriously, what you guys do, you tell the truth. You don't sugarcoat it, and it's awesome. I talked to you last year. I was a long time first time. I talked to you during the finals run. You and I had a little bit of an argument, and it was over the whole Luca. He needs to grow up. It was his pre-game 3 where he had his meltdown. I think this might have been. I was on vacation with my family. I called you.
I remember this. What?
Yes.
What? Okay. Yeah.
And I was like trying to be quiet in the hallway in the hotel.
Really
funny. Yeah. And I gotta just say, like, as upset as I was at Luca, I mean, this is not what I envisioned at all. My wife thinks I'm crazy to be staying up this late to wait to talk to you guys, but it's also cathartic because this is not what I meant at all. Like, it takes only a self-centered prick, narcissist asshole like Nico fucking dumb motherfucker Harrison to think he can do this trade and say win-win, or he outsmarted the entire NBA basketball community universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not what I meant. This is not what I meant. I just wanted to see Luca take his journey faster. And then when the season started, I texted my best friends in my basketball thread, just like I was more upset than I was after game 3 talking to you. Like, oh my God, like he doesn't get it. When is he going to get it? But he's 25 now, 26. This is the dumbest thing. And I just want to apologize to the Mavs and Luca fandom out there because I feel bad. Like my personal fandom died. Like, I was in a fog for like 2 weeks. I just could not. My dad recently died, and my wife treated me more with like white gloves, kid gloves treatment when Lucas traded than after my dad just passed. And I know your dad just passed. My condolences.
Well, it's a really weird deal because the people that know understand. And then the people that don't, you have to put it in the contextual terms like your father, where you're like, look, this was something that was such an active and constant part of my life that I just sort of accepted as what being there. It frustrated me at times. There were times where I'm just like, what is going on? But at the end of it, it was something that you had kind of like, it was an attachment. And that's why I wrote that open letter. Like, they stripped that from us. And the likelihood that we get something like that back again, and I don't mean to be like dour, I don't want to shit on everybody's feelings, but it's like the statistical likelihood that we get something like this again is just, it's not happening.
I mean, like, you can only list one other franchise that's had a run like this. The Packers. They had Favre. Then they had Rodgers. Now they got that new guy. I forget his name, Jordan Love. Mavs had Dirk and then Luca, and it's over a slightly shorter period of time, but it's that uncommon to do something like that. And they took it from us. And that's why I think my wife, when the Luca trade happened, look, we've known each other 20 years this year, and she knows this sounds horrible to say, but my dad and I were not that close later on in life. But as long as she's known me, she knows the Mavs. Like, one of our first dates was to a Mavs game. We got married. We moved to Orlando, and then that was in 2010. End of 2010, we moved to Orlando, and then the Mavs went on that run in 11, and we're newlyweds. And literally, I'm watching the playoff run, and against the Trailblazers. Once they made it past, like, you could just see Dirk. Something changed. This team was it. You felt something during the regular season, and then once we beat the Blazers, I bought a ticket to the second home game against the Lakers, and then against the Thunder, and then against the Heat. Like, I just would book plane tickets and game tickets. And she had no idea. She was asleep. She didn't stay up for those games, and she No, I'm serious. I put my marriage under the biggest stress threshold you possibly could in that first year. She understood, like, this was my life. Dirk, I mean, anybody that's listening to this podcast, Dirk is my homeboy t-shirt. That thing means something. That man, he defined what being a Mavs fan is. And it's the loyalty. That's the thing. It was like this, like I went to Tony Dumas's 39-point game against the Knicks or the Suns, one of those teams. Like I went there in the 90s as a teenager, like just 36, 37 years of going through the shit, right? Like Andy Dufresne rising up through the muck and then the rain falling down on you for what you think is going to be 40 years or 35 years between Dirk and Luca. You think you finally made it to the other side, and for that to get ripped away, it hurts. That's why I think my wife just understands, like, these last 2 months plus have just been absolute just heartbreak for me, because the thing that defined my, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I cut them out of my fandom and my heart this season. I finally had enough, and my wife's like, what are you going to do? Like, you're not watching Cowboys games. I was like, at least I got the Mavs, because I thought there's no way in fucking hell Luca was going to leave the Mavs. Like, you saw him tearing up during the tribute video. He was never going to leave.
Nope.
And why would we think that our team would trade him?
Nope.
And these 2 months, that's what just, part of me truly died inside. And that's not like hyperbolic bullshit. Like, I have not been the same since that trade on February 2nd. I've definitely not been the same since my dad died just now.
Yeah.
I've just been numb, and it just fucking hurts. But all I can think about the good times with my dad, my family, and the good times with Dirk. Even the shitty times is in the 90s, but the reunion arena used to just be raucous if we went on run. Today, you could hear it on the TV. Like, my wife was like, you're not going to this game? You're not going to take our son? Like, we were on the NBA Instagram page at the finals this past June. Like, my wife's like, you're not going to take him to this game? I was like, no, I am not going to give the Dumonts or Nico, any of those motherfuckers, a cent. I just won't. I have not watched. I'm one of your classic call-in people that say, I don't watch the games anymore. I watched the Houston game, 80s first game, out of morbid curiosity, and then I laughed my ass off when he got injured, and I don't wish a player to get injured, but I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, there's an irony that surrounds it that's so bleak that it's like, God.
And then I'm one of those people that also believes, yes, you ran Kyrie into the fucking ground.
Yeah.
He is old, and he has had 2 other serious injuries to that same knee. You cannot, you have doctors all over TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram saying, yes, this is an overuse injury. Like, it is a freak injury, but also these freak injuries happen when the muscle strains break down through overuse. God, this whole thing is all caused by one motherfucker, and it's Nico goddamn motherfucking Harrison. I hate that motherfucker with a passion. I hate him so badly, and that's the number one reason I wanted to call him, is just to tell Mavs fandom, do not let go of your hatred for Nico. Even when he gets fired, it doesn't make anything better, because you saw the tears in Luca's eyes. You saw his chin and his lip quivering. That shit made me cry. The first time my wife ever saw me cry, and it was hilarious, was when we won the championship. And she could not believe I was crying over that. But that's how much I love this team. Not the Cowboys, not the Stars, not the Rangers. This team. And that's what hurts the most. That douchebag fucking thought he was smarter than everyone. And even that, I think he knows it was a bad trade. He's just that egomaniacal and just said, I can't believe this pudgy white guy, Euro guy, and I think he is a racist. I really believe that. I think he has a thing against white or just Europeans. He wanted to prove everyone wrong, but I can trade him. Look how powerful I am. I'll still win the championship. And that motherfucker will be wrong. Luca's going to win probably 4 championships, 2 or 3 MVPs with the Lakers, and he robbed Dallas and the Mavericks fans from that. And that is unforgivable. Never, ever let go, Mavs fans. That's what I got to say, or former Mavs fans like myself. he traded him for a guy. Look at AD today, Kirk. The guy looked like
Austin Reeves looked better than him. Like he didn't like.
It's not even
what to do about
close.
this shit, man.
He looked tentative. He cowered. Like he looked like a wuss. He buckled under the pressure, under the spotlight. He played great against Houston. I'll give him that. I don't hate AD, but I hate him in a way that Luka's not here because of you.
Reminds you of it. It's a reminder, and that's why I hope he has an ability to move on soon.
Yeah, I hope he gets traded, or I hope he forces a trade for his own sake, because he'll never be loved here like he was loved in New Orleans or in Los Angeles, because he is a constant reminder. And plus, he's not that guy. He's never been that guy. He was the number 2 player, although he had a good playoff run. He was by far the number 2 player in that playoff run to win the championship. He cowered today. I just kept my son's 9 years old. He got into basketball because of Luca, and that's what hurts him most. He's got countless Luca jerseys.
Oh yeah.
He's a Lakers fan. That's the saddest thing.
Oh, I
He's
hate
a Lakers
it.
fan.
My wife brought that crap into our home. She bought him a Lakers jersey, and I'm just like, how dare you?
Well, I mean, I ordered a Lakers jersey. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm a Lucas fan. I'm a Luca fan. I have no team. I'm a nomad at this point. I'm not looking for a new team. I'm just I literally am gonna be like a one of those like comic book or video game turned movie characters where your eyes are gouged out and you're just wandering aimlessly for the rest of your life.
Yep.
I don't have a place to go anymore in basketball because I can't root for the Lakers. God, no, I can't root for the Lakers. But I sure as hell I'm going to root for Luca. And I hope he wins the championship this year because if anything, that's going to get fucking Nico fired. And maybe that's going to keep the fans from giving money to the Dumonts and Adelsons. And my dream, and I keep telling my friends, my best friend thread, this is my dream, that some couple billionaires get together with Cuban and Dirk. This team is in the shitter. The league gambling is never going to get legalized in 27, and then they sell, and then we get Luca back in 27-28. That's my hope. And everyone that says I'm crazy, I probably am. But at the end of the day, that's my only hope because I can't cheer for another team. And Dirk created a sense of loyalty for this fan base that never, ever had a crack. And it shifted from the team to a player, and I never thought it would happen. And the only way to get me back as a fan is if Luca comes back, and those two motherfuckers in that Adelson Dumont family, they're out of here.
Yep. Well, hey, man, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you taking your time, all right?
Yeah, Kirk. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Love you guys.
Yep. Talk soon. Have a good one. All right, we got Glenn, who's been patiently waiting, and Rain, who's been patiently waiting. Glenn, really glad that you hung around. Good to see your face. How you doing? I can't hear it. Muted. Hit the unmute. I wonder if I can unmute you. Nope, can't unmute you. Oh, we'll bring Glenn back when he comes on. Rain, give me your 2 cents. I know it's the daytime where you are in south of the equator.
Hey there. This game was quite cathartic. This is the first Mavericks game I have watched since the last time they versus the Lakers.
Really burned you that way?
I'm genuinely hopeful that this game has been cathartic enough that I can begin to watch Mavericks games again once next season, maybe when Kyrie gets back.
Yep.
Just being in here today has reinforced something that I moved from New Zealand to Australia, no family here, and quite throwing myself into basketball, and this was my community. And not ashamed to say it that Nico has permanently damaged my ability to enjoy basketball the same way.
Yeah.
I watch Lakers games sometimes if it's even slightly inconvenient for me in any way, which is all the time given the time zone. it comes last, and it always used to come first. Watching the Mavericks came before anything else. And I just can't put myself to do it. And seeing Luca cry, it
sucks,
you know,
man.
it just reinforced everything that we all knew immediately when the trade happened, that he wasn't going to leave. This is bullshit. So I removed myself from Mavericks games because it just hurt too much, and I don't. As much as I love Kyrie, as much as I love Dirk Lively, and I want to see him flourish into the player that he can be. It was just too painful. So I have removed myself. That's why I haven't been in any shows. I still watch the shows sometimes, every now and then. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch every show anymore like I used to, because it has just been pain. It didn't stop. It didn't fucking stop. More players got injured, and it genuinely felt like.
Well, you're telling me I had to write up posts about this nonsense.
I mean, yeah. So hopefully this is the catharsis that we all needed. It seems like it may have been for Luca, according to some of his comments.
Right.
There's not a lot to the game. Like, if you, as a Mavericks fan, there wasn't a lot to take away from here, and I imagine it's been like that just about every other game. Like, players that come back from injury quite obviously earlier than they should have been. And to speak of it for a Luka perspective, like, hey, his team chemistry is at an all-time high on his new team, and maybe they've got a little bit of plot armor coming their way with that, and maybe he can enjoy some more success. And I would like that for him. I refuse to call myself a Laker fan. I cannot do that either.
No,
I'm
proud of you.
And part of that comes down to Nico has burned me so hard that I refuse to affiliate with any team. No team deserves that level of trust. And frankly, players don't really either. Like, they're not infallible. They're just people.
Yep.
But it's just Spain everywhere, and hopefully a lot of people just feel better after this. Like, this is one of the few games I have lamented being so far away. Even though they went to the finals, the fact that I couldn't go and see this game in person was quite sad. Normally watching it online is, that's good enough. I would sometimes rationalize better. But I can do it from the comfort of my own home. But this is a game I 100% wish I could have gone to live. And it's a kind of experience that we'll probably never see again. It felt like I wasn't around for it. It felt like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe farewell tour almost.
Yeah.
The level of admiration that he was getting as an opposing team player.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think I don't have much else to say, as I'm quite exhausted. I've just come off an 84-hour week. I've been awake 24 hours at this point just so I can watch this game off a night shift. And
thanks for hanging out, man.
I'm done.
We'll talk soon, okay?
Guys, thanks for listening, Kirk.
Yep. Bye. All right, we're gonna try Glenn again. There we are.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
You sound good. We're you were driving home. I have to guess that you went through the drive-through. What'd you get to eat?
Yeah, I went to Insomnia Cookie. I had to get I haven't been on here in a while, even though I listen after every game. I'm just normally late. I'm behind, so I can never get on. But yeah, I needed one for this because it took a little bit to gather my thoughts, because I honestly wanted to be able to have an emotional resolution to this by today's end. Like everyone else, the trade, it's the trade. And my father's story is my dad worked for Reunion Arena all the way from when I was born until maybe my 9th grade in high school. And
How has this not come up? You've come on the show like 25 times. Wow.
I know. I never, but babysitting options weren't available a lot. So back in the 80s, he would pull me to the game, and I don't know how it was allowed, but I would sit in the tunnel. I would sit on the floor. I would have floor, I would be able to be where I wasn't supposed to. I remember watching Sean Bradley play. He was the first Maverick I remember that came up to me and was nice. So it's a lot of me and my dad to this day. I called him today and I asked him, I said, "You going to watch?" And he worked for the Reunion for forever. And for the first time I got an I don't know. And it's because it was we talk every single day. It is the basis of what our relationship kicks off of. It's not the sole thing, but it's the thing we connect with more than anything since I've been alive.
Right.
And so, I'm not going to be long because you've had a long night, but I will say, I was very down during the trade, and I'm 44 years old. And my dad said, one of the things we bonded on was, in the time in America where things were a little weird, and there were a lot of, it's still weird, but there were a lot of social issues. And I remember I was really, really frustrated. And my dad said, "Look, don't let certain things, certain people, certain situations completely take your joy away from things that you've loved all of your life. So if you have to renegotiate what being a fan means to you, do it in a way where you don't give your joy completely away on your terms." I appreciated what the guy said beforehand about giving too much away to organizations that don't think about us and players who move often. But what I am going to do on a game, and people can do what they want, I want to be a Maverick fan. That's the thing. Man. I don't want to forsake the thing for 45 years that was the bonding piece to me and my father's relationship. We've been talking about dads a little bit tonight. And so this goes beyond basketball. And people that watch this, that snicker and laugh, they can do that all they want. But these are the things that you remember. These are the times. These are the backdrops of life that you can say, that point in my life was that good, and that was the year that so-and-so did that. And I have chosen for the Mavericks to be that pinnacle point. So I love a good amount of people that are on the team. I love Kyrie, Dirk, Lively, Najee. I love them. And I realize they may be gone next year, some of them. But what I'm going to do is I will never be able to give myself to another team, but I'm not going to completely abandon the pieces that still give me joy. I still watch the game. And when the Mavericks scored, I lit up. When Luca scored, I lit up. So I'm going to be a fan, but a fan where I protect my own heart. And I think that's okay. And I think it's okay if people decide to not be fans. I think it's okay if people just decide to be Luca stans. But at this point, for anyone that is trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do once the season is over, protecting your peace is number one. But still, the things that give you joy, don't turn your back on it just because one or two or three people tried to make a decision that affected in taking big pieces of it. I heard you say a few weeks ago, a part of your basketball fandom died. And that's okay. It is okay. It is. There's still other pieces that can be ignited if we choose to be. Because I don't know about you. I'm 44 years old. I'm too old to find a new team, and the Lakers make me want to vomit. I'm just going to be honest with you.
That's true. I'm with you.
So, and so let's figure out a way. Nico's written his own ticket. Whether it's today, tomorrow.
This has to end at some point. It's so awkward.
And at this point, if there's anyone in the comments, y'all are gonna laugh. I kind of feel bad for the guy because anyone with a logical brain that would have anticipated 70, 40, 50, 30% of what happened would not have done this. He underestimated everything. So listen, him going forward, good luck, because I no longer have an emotional attachment to you, Nico, because of how you severed some of the connections. And so I I don't have it in me to wish anyone ill will. I do want him to have a new job, but whatever we need to do to detox and turn the page on the things that don't feed into us on this season, I'm ready to do it. And if there's anything that remains for us to grab onto, to be hopeful for next season, and we got a lot of good guys. We got a lot of good. This team fought every game, and I'm going to tell you, I think 90% of other teams would have quit. The Phoenix Suns quit when there was no reason to quit, period. You got other teams who are firing their coaches who are firmly entrenched in the playoffs because they can't get motivated to play for their coach. I am not a Jason Kidd guy, but for some reason, these guys listen to this clown. So if I want to be a fan of a team that does that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a fan of the dudes. And when they're gone, if I have to renegotiate because there's not enough dudes to offset the Nikos and Allisons, then that'll be fine. I'll move on and maybe I'll pick up pickleball or be a fan of like professional bowling. But I'm going to hold on to my piece as long as I can, and I'm not going to let them run me off. But I won't be the same version. And for anyone else that feels like that, it's okay.
Glenn, what good advice and worth staying up late for. Thank you so much for hanging around to talk to us, okay?
Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, have a good one. All right, last but not least, my friend Ben. It's been a while since Ben's joined us, I'm pretty sure. Ben, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Well, no, I'm not doing great. I mean, I didn't get to watch
I
the
get
game.
it. I know what you mean. We're all here.
It's been a long night. I just showed up at the end. I only tagged on. Really, I mean, I'll just share my story real fast. I have been a lifelong Mavs fan since the 90s. I remember Don Carter's lucky hat. I remember all the bad draft picks. I remember Cherokee Parks. I remember, I mean, I was there. So when Dirk showed up, it changed things. Cuban went through all that. It was amazing. Went through all the, losing, 2003, 2004, Nash leaving, all the things. And I think the crazy feeling that I've had is that it's almost as though even the past has kind of been taken away because we knew that, I mean, the last 6 years, it's hard to even think back positively about those things that Luca did, that the team did with Luca that were amazing. All of the, you know what I mean? It's hard to think about those because the part of what was so exciting about all that was like, man, this guy's only 22 and look what he's doing and look at this future. And obviously we saw him tonight. That's the thing that upsets me the most. I'm just a fan. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
He took that from Luca and like no top player in any sport like has ever been disrespected like that. I don't think so. I mean, maybe but I mean, beyond just the, oh no, my team's not going to be good or I don't get to watch my guy, like that's heartbreaking. He was looking forward to being Dirk 2.0, having that same legacy, doing all that stuff, and they took it away from us and him for.
Ooh, did we lose you, Ben?
Or whatever.
Oh, there you are.
And he's going to win.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to seeing him win and be very good and, whoop ass throughout the league. I also wanted that's it. That's all my feelings. But I wanted to share something because a good buddy of mine who also used to be in here all the time, but he's a rapper and he's touring Europe all the time. Josh B, JB. I don't know if you remember this guy. He used to come in all the time to the before StreamYard and all that. But
okay, tell me what was what is his stage name?
Probably JB or JB Brown or Josh B. I don't know. But he hasn't been along in a while because, like I said, he's kind of in Europe. And when he was more here, we would both be on sometimes back in the old chat room days. I don't remember what it was called, but anyways, he works with this guy that does this. This is leading somewhere, I promise. But
that's fine.
He works with this thing called Deadly Prey Gallery, and it's this company that makes these posters. They basically commission these artists in Ghana to make movie posters, or they make these movie posters because they don't have movie theaters, and they hand draw these kind of crude movie paintings on rice sacks to promote movie screenings in these little villages in Ghana. Anyways, also a huge Mavs fan, so he commissioned these big paintings and these prints, and he actually gave me some to give to you at some point. Maybe this is ringing bells. This would
Yes, I'm sorry. You've told me about this like 3 times, and I just never make it down because like actually doing things with my logistic, like anything. Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
let me turn my cam on because I want everybody. I mean, this is a time we're celebrating Luca. Hi,
Oh,
okay, it's me. I'm Ben. So I'm going to show you some of the things.
You got a black screen. We're not seeing you.
Oh, you're not seeing me?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's working on my end. No.
Mm-mm.
Oh no. Okay, no big deal. I wonder if you can't turn it off and on, maybe.
Hold on 1 second.
Can't.
Mm-mm. There we go.
Me? That me? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna turn. So like, here's one of the prints that they did. That was the bang bang.
Wow.
And so you can see it's this very primitive art style, and they take liberties, but it's cool. It's very.
Yeah, you've told me about this like 5 times, and I'm just such a bad.
No.
I'm the logistically messed up person where it's like getting to Dallas would eat like, you know how it is, traffic here. It's like when you're around, it's like 3 hours out of the day.
I live in Athens right now, so I'm an hour east. So forgive my bad internet, but I'll show you this big one too. I've actually it's like these are the
crazy.
original, and there's this really cool art. So, anyways, I still have some of these prints. If I don't know how to get hold of you though, because he was the one talking to you, and then he went on tour to Europe. And
That's right. Oh yeah, no, he DMs me all the time. I am just losing my mind with all the different
Josh,
people I talk to. Yes.
You know Josh. He's been
he DMs me at like 3:30 in the morning, and that's why, because he's not in the same time zone.
Yes, he's in Amsterdam rapping. He's making a hip hop album and stuff. He's a cool guy. He's a Mavs fan. He's from Chicago, but he's a big Mavs fan.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just wanted to share that because I'm also bedtime for Bonzo, which is probably bedtime for you. That's me in the playback. I appreciate.
Everybody has different names. The best part, words. I just have the one.
So, anyways, I don't want to waste any of your time. I just want to say,
you're
like,
good, man.
I'm here for you and Josh, and like, y'all have been. It's been such a great thing over the years to share the highs and the lows, and be able to get outside of the thoughts just rattling around in my own head. So, I'm always going to be there when I can, on playback or whatever with you guys.
I'm glad. Thank you.
And so I know a lot of other people feel that way too, that have been long timers, and maybe there's new people in here that just maybe will appreciate this kind of community.
I love it.
I just that's my piece. So it's hard for me to watch, but I do it for you guys, and the feelings are all mutual. We all understand each other. So
that's right, Ben. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right, bud. Have a good night.
Be good. Shout out to my my homie Ishan in the chat, who had just joined and is all capsing. All right, he would be our second Indian caller of the evening if he joined. But I'm gonna go to bed. Actually, I'm not. I gotta work and post all this stuff for another hour. But look, we'll be back on Friday. Probably won't do a post show then. We'll do some stuff around the play-in. I just, we're out of gas. It's been a great 2 hours. Thanks for everybody hanging out. We'll talk to you guys soon. If you missed the show with Josh and I, go ahead and go listen to it. Everybody be good. Go Mavs.